The following is a special presentation of the new TNN. After 19 events, the 2002 ASA Racing Series Championship comes down to these two drivers and 10 points. Last week's contest at Indianapolis Raceway Park offered each a chance to improve his position over the other, but each squandered that opportunity. First, Gary St.Amant suffered through what had to be the worst pit stop of his life, handing the keys of the kingdom to Joey Clanton. But then Clanton, driving 3 abreast under 2-lap cars, found himself spinning in turn 1, sustaining a flat tire in the process. Advantage lost. In the end, the number 83 made a spectacular drive back from 23rd position, past his nemesis, and finished 6th. 3 spots ahead of a disappointed St.Amant. Now, with but one race left in this coast-to-coast, man-to-man, and bumper-to-bumper battle that has been the 2002 ASA Championship, one of these two men will likely emerge the victor. One will claim the year as his own. The other will be forced to ponder what might have been. Welcome to the famed and fabled Winchester Speedway. The tradition of one of the best events in short track history continues today, of course. I'm speaking of the Winchester 400. Hello, everyone. I'm Bob Dillner, and we have a great day here in Winchester, Indiana. We are going to get things kick-started right away with a look at the starting grid for the Winchester 400 presented by TireRack.com. For the first time this year, David Stremme, this year's Rookie of the Year, starts on the pole. David Stremme, Mike Garvey in second. Those two finished 1 and 2 in that order last week at IRP. And way back there in the 15th starting spot is Kevin Sawinski. He's also in this title hunt. Right now, they are stopping the cars on the front stretch. They've taken a couple of pace laps, and now they are wiping away the leaves. Have a lot of foliage here in October, and they're wiping away the leaves from the grill. Hey, the championship is on the line. What do these guys think going into it? Well, let's find out.
It's mirror Jerry. Every move he makes, just be there in his mirror. You know, if we've got a faster car in the front, just don't take no chances. I mean, don't take no chances to pressure myself to have to do anything until Gary's in front of us, and then it's just going to be mirroring him.
Well, you know, I think he's been trying to be my shadow for quite a while this year, and I think the last time he told me that was Eliana. So if we can have the same results we had at Eliana, everything will be just fine. He can mirror me all day.
For us, we definitely need some luck. I won't hide that, but it's going to be a little bit easier for me because I don't have that kind of pressure that those two have on me.
Interesting strategies by all 3 of the title contenders. Let's cut right to the chase and show you what's going to happen here for some of the title contenders. Clanton ahead of St.Amant by 11 points. 94 back is Kevin Sawinski. He needs a lot of bad luck from St.Amant and Clanton to get the title, but Buddy Baker, Gary St.Amant knows one thing, and that is he has to finish a couple spots ahead of Joey Clanton to win the title.
Well, he's been there twice. He's a 2-time national champion in ASA. Joey Clanton in uncharted waters. This is going to be a great run today. Nobody knows who's going to win.
And we have a couple great pit reporters. We'll start our first with Brian Till.
Well, Bob, pit stops are going to be important, so is pit position. Clanton chose a pit stall in the middle of the front straightaway. It gets him in quick, so his crew can go to work, put the pressure on the other guys to match their time. It's also nice and flat, but he's got a lot of cars to pass on the way. And getting out of the pits, that got Gary St.Amant in trouble with lap cars or with traffic last weekend in IRP. Jim?
Well, Brian, I'm in Gary St.Amant's pit. He elected to pick the 3rd stall out from the stop-and-go sign. He thinks that by passing the 19 stalls that separate he and Joey Clanton, he'll want to pass them on the entry. Make his marks here, get out of the pit lane ahead of everyone else without having to worry about coming around this big bend where everybody's trying to get out of their pit area. It's critical for Gary to get out clean here. He thought he picked down here as his better advantage.
Bob, you can hear the heartbeats as they're starting to come down towards the green flag.
Here we go, folks. Hold on to your lug nuts for the final green flag of the year in ASA Racing. David Stremme, the pole sitter, elects to go on the outside because that is the fast way around this racetrack. But Mike Garvey in the Tecumseh number 17 is fighting hard.
And Joey Clanton there in third spot, the leader of the points right now. He's fighting hard for third spot. He said he was going to take it very slow as he started today. Does not look that way. Looks like he has it down. Trouble in turn 2.
Cars all over the place in turns 1 and 2. The 70 of Dave Sensiba, the 86 Johnny King car for Jason Boyd. Yellow flag, first lap, first caution of the day, and you know what? This is Winchester.
Yes, it is. And also in that wreck was Joel Kaufman, also in the 40 car. He's just coming around. A lot of damage to the left front, as you can see right there.
Joel Kaufman runs the Sunoco Super Series, is the point leader with 1 race remaining, 2 weeks ahead from now at IRP. He will be trying to win the title, but bad luck. What happened here?
Well, he got tagged from behind. You can see the 06 there gets into him a little bit. But look at Kevin Sawinski, just barely got by in the 1 car on the bottom side. Third in points right here. That could have changed a lot of things.
Here's another angle. You see Kaufman going around, Davin Seitz as well. And look at Sawinski. The 1 gets tagged by the LA West number 40.
Barely got tagged though. That could have been big.
That might be big in the chase for this championship. 3 guys, Joey Clanton, Gary St.Amant, and Kevin Sawinski. Kevin Sawinski already with a little body damage on that Great Clips number 1. First caution of the day. We'll be back. But trouble already for Kevin Sawinski, Brian Till.
Well, that's right, Bob. There's the crew down here. Mike Chaffee talking to his crew guys. They think they knocked the toe out of adjustment in this contact. They're actually going to have to string the car. That means they're going to put alignment gauges on it, run a string down the side, and see whether the toe in is wrong or not, and they'll have to reset it. That's going to be time-consuming.
Time-consuming when they get a chance, but we are green flag racing again.
Yeah, and we noticed on the right-hand side of the 1 car of Kevin Sawinski, he has some damage right where the exhaust comes out. Hopefully the fumes don't come up in the car and create a problem also for him.
3 of the hardest chargers up front right now. There is Gary St.Amant. He knows how to win here at Winchester. Did so 2 years ago. Gary St.Amant in that AC Delco number 7 running 4th, but a car slow on the backstretch.
Yeah, and Kyle Busch there in the 07 working on Gary St.Amant. He does not need a lot of pressure put on him at the early stages of this race.
Gary St.Amant there in that AC Delco number 7. Kyle Busch right behind him. You see Robbie Pyle also there. Greg Williams, that orange car, the number 10, trying to make his way to pit road, slow on the racetrack, but the race continues here at Winchester. Oh, trouble again for Jason Boyd, the number 86 Johnny King car, 2nd time already, and we're only 11 laps in.
Boy, when things go bad, they go really bad. He's really having a day of it 2 times already, and he's been involved in both of them.
Here's a look at it.
Just loses the back of the car. No contact whatsoever with anyone. Just lost the back of the car, and there he is sliding. The good part is he didn't really hurt the car that much.
Not a good day for Jason Boyd, Brian Till.
Well, not a good day at all. You know, he was just in the pits. I asked Augie Grill, his crew chief, I said, Augie, why was he in? He said, I don't know. There really wasn't anything wrong with the car. The hood was flopping a little bit. We tightened that back down, but the car's fine. We're good. He went back out right after that restart, guys. Looked like he was trying to go underneath somebody, maybe locked the brakes a little bit and got a little loose, but not a good day for this Frankie Grill team.
Well, buddy, this team has struggled here this weekend. Jason Boyd was not happy with that Johnny King car yesterday.
Well, and you have to run the car so loose here because of the high bank. 34 degrees banking. That's more than Talladega Super Speedway, so this place is treacherous.
Fast racetrack, Jim Trado.
I'm down at Greg Williams' pit, the full-timer out of Indiana. Wanted to wish his mama a happy birthday with a better run. They're already in the pits. They feel they have some problems with the air intake. The hose itself from the airbox to the engine has collapsed. He thought it was a throttle problem, and you don't want that here at Winchester or anywhere, but it appears that they've got an induction problem with the airflow from the box into the engine, Bob.
That's trouble for Greg Williams in the Anderson Town Center number 10. Greg picking up a 1-race sponsorship for the Winchester 400. Experience is key here at Winchester, and you know what? David Stremmy's got a lot of experience. He's the leader of this race, but he's run Kendall late model races here. He knows how to get around this high-back racetrack.
Yeah, he told me yesterday, I just love the racetrack. I love the high banks, as a matter of fact, and he's in the right place if he likes high banks.
Last year, he sat on the pole here at Winchester, and Don Benetti's number 5 car had trouble early on. The battle for 6th between Robbie Pyle and the 21 Great Clips car of Brian Refner. Refner qualified 7th into the 3rd ASA race this year. He says, wow, I'm impressed I qualified 7th because he hadn't started up that far in his previous 2 events.
Yeah, and you can see him get every race. He gets a little more competitive. He has to get used to this type of race car. He was over in the truck division for a little while. Now he's back in ASA, the 95 champion.
95 champion, but believe it or not, he had never seen this place before this weekend. David Stremme is your leader. Mike Garvey second. Joey Clanton, the point leader, is third. But Gary St.Amant is right on his tail. An exciting race here at Winchester, Indiana. That is Bill McGowan. He is hoping that his guy, Gary St.Amant, pulls off the championship here today in Winchester. David Stremme in the Meyer Food Stores number 11 is the leader here in the Winchester 400, and David Stremme has had a dynamite year filled with 2 wins here in the ASA Racing Series.
I guess the most I'm going to take away from this year is what happened between Jason and myself that took me out of the championship contention, and kind of learned a lot as far as a confrontation. You know, I screwed up there a little bit, and it led on to another race and cost me some points. We can use that towards the next year, towards the championship battle. And Jason and I, we've become friends, and we get to, have some great races here as the year winds down. So it's something that I've learned, and it'll help me out in years to come.
David Stremme, of course, talking about Jason Boyd, who has already spun here twice in the Winchester 400, but David Stremme looks awful strong, but a lot of these guys do, buddy.
Yeah, and David Stremme right now has a lot of people looking at him. He has a great future in racing, and this racetrack is built for him. He's very, very tough physically.
Gary St.Amant has dropped back to the 5th spot. Robbie Pyle. That's 2 Ohio guys. The Buckeye Bullets battling right there for the 5th spot. Robbie Pyle in the Sitco 63 right on the back bumper of Gary St.Amant. Gary just lost the spot to Kyle Busch.
Yeah, and he just pulled over and let him go. Kyle put a lot of pressure on him. He just pulled over to the left-hand side of the racetrack and said, go on by. Apparently, this car is not working to suit Gary St.Amant right at the moment.
I talked to Gary yesterday, and he said, you know what? I've won 2 championships. I'm still pretty nervous going into this race.
Well, and when you have a bad handling car, you don't push the issue when you're trying to win a championship. He knows he's going to have to make pit stops, and they'll adjust on it.
That's a pretty smart move by a very veteran driver.
Yeah, I mean, you can push the issue and maybe back it in the wall, and you're out of contention then.
On the other hand, Robbie Pyle just behind him, a pretty hungry racer because he hasn't won yet this year.
There's a bunch of them out there right now, but this race means a lot as far as getting somebody to help sponsor the car next year. So everybody, even the guys up front, they need to really impress in this race.
Robbie Pyle, 4 poles, 14 top 10 finishes. They just went around the lap car now of Mark Floor. There is Kyle Busch, and man, this guy is on the move in the 07 car.
Yeah, and raced here last night and got 3 laps down and made up 2 laps, so he loves this racetrack. Kind of like his brother. His brother loves Bristol. Hey, and Kyle right now, he's putting a lot of pressure, and you watch Joey Clanton. He's not going to push the issue, I don't think.
Kyle Busch looking to the inside of Joey Clanton, and buddy, you are absolutely right. Joey let him go.
Yeah, and the radios are a good thing. He's right now saying, where is Gary St.Amant? That's what the 83 is worried about, not Kyle Busch at the moment.
And Kyle Busch, as Buddy mentioned, pulling double duty this weekend. Raced in the Sunoco Super Series event last night, finished in the top 10. Coming into this, Kyle Busch had completed 340 laps here between practice and those races, and he's already completed 42 laps here. So this is a long race to begin with. Kyle has got to be one tough racer. Jim Trado?
Well, guys, what I'm holding here is a broken-off bolt in the power steering servo unit. Russ Tuttle hit the wall hard last week at IRP. He borrowed a car from Rich Gardner. They completely did the drivetrain, transmission, all new two, except for the power steering servo. And buddy, you know how hard it is to turn here without power steering. This bolt broke. They're behind the wall. They may go back out, depending on how they sit in the points. If Jason Boyd has problems or Todd Cleaver have problems, the two teams surrounding them in the point standings, you may see the 16 back on track.
You know, and you hear people all the time talking about, well, I can drive a car with manual steering. Well, it's about twice as tough to turn a car with power steering once that unit goes out. If you want to know what it's like, turn the key off sometime and try to drive the car. It's about 3 times as tough as regular manual steering.
It ain't too easy. Russ Tuttle, as Jim Trado mentioned, involved in a points chase. He sits 11th in points right now, but Russ Tuttle, another reason why it must be tough to run without power steering here. He hurt his shoulder last week at IRP.
Yeah, he's got some sore ribs also. His shoulders hurt and also his ribs, so I don't imagine he's really complaining that much about the problem.
Check this out. Kyle Busch pulling to the back bumper of Mike Garvey, but Mike Garvey is behind the 05 direct electric car for Chris Wimmer. Brian Till?
Well, Mike Garvey, I asked Joe Shearer Jr., I asked him how hard he was going to let him run. He said, Brian, we know it's a long race, 400 laps. We want to run just hard enough to stay up towards the front. Kyle Busch is all over his back bumper. We're going to see how hard he's going to let him run it.
Well, I can tell you one thing. The rope's going to get slick from here up for him. He won't be able to run by that 17 car like he did the 83 of Clanton. Mike Garvey does not pull over for anyone.
And you know, earlier in this race, buddy, we saw the #1 Great Clips car get tagged in that first lap incident. He is still running 10th, so maybe that damage, maybe not too severe.
Yeah, you can see it right there on the right rear corner. Pretty good gouge out of there. And you can see Todd Cleaver all over the back of him, so he's not running that fast at the moment, but he's still able to maintain a good position.
Kevin Sawinski, 10th. Todd Cleaver is 11th. Todd, I asked him, I said, hey, how you like this racetrack yesterday? He said, I love it. I said, have you ever been here before? He said, come on, I have only been to 4 racetracks on this ASA schedule that I had seen before, so why start new now?
Yeah, and he's a real deal. I would love to see him get a lot of backing and see what he could really do. Todd Cleaver has the abilities to do a lot. Came from the motorcycle division.
He did. He was a good flat track racer in the motorcycle division, and now he's transferring his skills to the ASA Racing Series.
And the 21 car just behind them right there hit the wall a while ago. Refner did, and flattened the whole right side. Now he's back up to speed again.
Here are the leaders. Mike Garvey is the new leader. David Stremme has fallen back to second. Kyle Busch now hot on his tail. But Mike Garvey in that Tecumseh number 17 is the man at the front.
Yeah, and lap traffic had a lot to do with that. As you see, they come up on some cars that they're fixing to put a lap on, and Garvey does not back off. He just drove her in there and took the lead.
And you know what, David Stremme, he's not backing off either, because as you said, lap traffic pretty difficult. Right in front of them is Doug Stevens in the 98, and the guy that finished 3rd last week in the body balance 33, Greg Stewart.
And you see they're running inches off the outside wall there, and if somebody checks up, you hardly have time to react at all.
Man, they are running just inches off the wall. How tough is it to deal with lap traffic and run that close and that fast here at Winchester?
Well, and you're trying to find out where they have a weakness, because the car back runners here are right up there with the lead cars as far as speed.
Gotta check this out. Here is the pass for the lead.
Well, you see the 98 of Stevens on the outside there. The 11's on the bottom part of the racetrack, and John Silverthorne in the 8 there is on the flat part, so he had to back off to get back in line.
Jam car, that's what John Silverthorne was right there, and that enabled Mike Garvey to get in the lead. But look at how difficult it is to pass lap traffic here. Mike Garvey goes to the inside of Doug Stevens, who finished 3rd here in an ARCA race earlier this year. That just shows you how tough this ASA Racing Series is. This is a tough track, and we'll be back to show you in a moment. Buckle up your britches, folks, because this is what's happened in the first 50 laps of the Winchester 400 for the ASA boys on the very first lap. Gavin Seitz gets into the back of the LA West number 40 of Joel Kaufman, and Kevin Sawinski, boom, gets tagged right there. And then just a few laps later, Jason Boyd spins in the Danny King 86. David Stremme, man, lap traffic has been awful tough here, and he has been negotiating it pretty well until lately. Kyle Busch has been the guy on the move. He gets by Gary St.Amant, one of the title contenders, and then goes to the inside of the Campfire USA 83 of Joey Clanton to move up. Right now, Busch is 3rd. Tom Powell says, move over lap traffic. It's been tough, and that's how Mike Garvey got the lead. Rick Beebe, the Rocket Man, is in 8th. That's pretty good. Kevin Sawinski is 10th. J.C. Beatty Jr. in 9th. Greg Stewart just went a lap down in 13th. Wow. These leaders are moving fast.
They are flying around this racetrack, and right now they are all having to deal with lap traffic, and on this racetrack, very difficult to pass.
And now, of course, the ASA Racing Series title is on the line today. Mike Garvey not in that hunt, but he is the leader of the race. Joey Clanton, the leader in the title chase, and he is the top point guy so far. He is running 4th, and that's the breakdown right now. If it were to end right now, 21 points behind would be Gary St.Amant.
Yeah, and Gary St.Amant at the moment is a half a lap behind the leader, so he's got to be very careful not to go a lap down and take himself out of the hunt, this early in the show.
Joey Clanton just behind the RoushRacing.com 07 for Kyle Busch, but you see the 7 of Gary St.Amant way behind Joey Clanton. Gary St.Amant, man, you got to know that he's got to be anxious inside that car because it's not running to his liking.
Yeah, and just a second ago, he's going down the back straightaway and got pinned in with a bunch of cars and lost a lot of track position to the leaders. He's now half a lap back.
Gary St.Amant, it's pretty interesting. He told me Joey Clanton called him this week, and Gary gave him some advice on winning this championship.
Yeah, probably bad advice, but he gave him advice, okay.
He says, you know what, I don't know why I did it. He and Joey are good buddies, and they've had quite the run to this championship. Gary told me, he said, you know what, with the year that Joey Clanton has had, compared to the year that I've had, I've been very consistent, but if I finish second to Joey Clanton, he's won 9 races, that'll be all right.
Yeah, and that goes with Gary St.Amant's personal way of feeling about other people. What a gentleman.
Mike Garvey's a gentleman, maybe not always on the racetrack.
He's on the move right now. He wants that first win of the 2002 season, and he is just gouging his way around here. Right at the moment, Brian Refner just in front of him, a good car. We were talking about Todd Cleaver in the 55. He's fixing to put these cars down a lap right now. They're very fast, but just behind that 17, the 11 car is on the move, Stremme.
Stremme catching Garvey in lap traffic. Buddy Baker mentioned Garvey has not won this year, has not won since March of last year. He is awful hungry. We're kind of joking around the other day. I said, Garvey, you got to close the deal. His wife Lisa is his spotter, and she's been reminding him of that all weekend long. Mike Garvey hoping to turn things around here at Winchester. Wants that win. He's won 13 in ASA competition, but as we said, not this year.
We could write a book on bad luck this year. Everything's happened to us. You name it, it's happened. But, we kept working at it. Now we got the team back versus gelled. We're back up front, and we're contending for wins week in and week out. Hopefully we get our first win this week.
It's looking pretty good so far.
Yeah, but he's got a lot of pressure right now, and going by as you start lapping better cars as you get in the lap traffic, it gets tougher to get by. Right now, he hadn't got by Refner, and you see the 11 there, Stremme looking to the inside. Won't be long before we have a battle for the lead.
Lap traffic has bottlenecked the leader, Mike Garvey, in that Tecumseh 17. The Edie's Ice Cream number 11 for David Stremme, hot on his tail, wants the lead back. Stremme loves this racetrack. He said this race is like his holy grail.
Yeah, and Kyle Busch there in the 07. He's made it 3 cars up there running for the lead.
And check out Kevin Sawinski, one of the title contenders, 3rd in the title chase, is about to get lapped. Well, it's a couple laps before he does. He's trying to stay on the lead lap in 10th place.
Yeah, there's 2 pretty good race cars just in front of him. And you see right now Mike Garvey not pressing the issue because David Stremme hadn't caught him yet.
If you go back to last week at IRP, Mike Garvey and David Stremme, they fought it out tooth and nail as well there.
Yeah, Mike Garvey just about made a mistake just then. He got the right sides up there where nobody runs and had to pull the car back down. Luckily, nobody was out putting a lot of heat on him then.
As you mentioned, Brian Refner just in front of them had trouble a little while ago. He had been running in the top 10, and then Buddy said he slammed the wall coming off of turn number 4. And this track, this wall can reach out and bite you and grab you quick.
Yeah, not turning you loose for a long, long time.
Stremme But take a look just behind Dave Stremme, buddy.
Absolutely. That yellow car back there, Joey Clanton, heads up run right now for the championship, not pressuring anybody. I believe right at the moment, if he was running like he did the early part of the year, he would be in the lead because that car is a rocket, but he's just sitting there watching everybody.
You know, Joey Clanton is showing a lot of patience and a lot of maturity out here, running fourth right now. But, you know, we spoke to Joey this morning, and it wasn't the same Joey. He maybe seemed a little bit, well, let's just say quiet.
You ever play poker? He was the man with 3 aces and wasn't sure of his hands. You know, he was just kind of quiet, getting ready for the battle.
He knows a lot is on the line, and you gave him some advice, too.
Well, yeah, I said, this is the greatest day of your life, to be in that position, to have something that most people will never experience, the championship. You ought to be just thrilled to have that on you.
And to top it off, the Winchester 400 is kind of like the Daytona 500. You know a lot about that race.
Oh, boy, I tell you, to these guys, I mean, and to anybody, Winchester's a big event. It's really something special. It has history that goes back to 1914.
It's absolutely incredible. This racetrack, famous for so many races, not only the late model stock car style racers, but also sprint cars and all sorts of stuff. Just some great names have won here at Winchester. Dave Sorg, the first winner of the Winchester 400. The 33rd year they are holding that race here at this awesome racetrack. Mike Garvey is your leader. Folks, we're just past the 100-lap marker here in the Winchester 400 at Winchester Speedway, presented by TireRack.com. Mike Garvey is the leader, David Stremme second, Joey Clanton in the Campfire USA number 83, sitting, lurking. You know he wants the championship, but he wants to win. Jack third.
Yeah, and he's in third spot right now, and Kyle Busch has had some kind of problem. He's dropped way back from his position.
You know, Joey Clanton said at the top of the broadcast, I'm just going to mirror Gary St.Amant all day long. He hasn't had to.
No, right now he's got a great car, and he's not pushing the issue. The first two cars are right there in front of him.
Kyle Busch. Oh, Mark Cole spins coming down the front stretch and ends up in the first turn, or right rear flat on Mark Cole's number 4. Mark Cole, you saw him get a little bit sideways in one of our shots there, coming down the front stretch right behind the leaders, Jim Hahn and the ASA Racing Series pace car. Going to pick up your leader, Mike Garvey, but you see right there, a flat right rear.
I mean, look at that rear wheel there. It's just kind of square looking.
Mark Cole, one of the independent runners here in the ASA Racing Series, has come to each and every event and tried to compete. Tom Powell says, come on, boys, let's tighten up the field a little bit. And what do you think? We're going to see some pit stops?
Well, you know, I don't know right now because track position is so important, and they have a lot of laps to go yet. So it depends whether, I bet somebody would know in the pits. So
I bet you Kyle Busch has dropped back just a little bit.
That right side of that car looks a little flat, like he might have had a little encounter with the wall.
Kyle Busch, the RouseRacing.com car. Oh, no. Tough to tell.
No, it looks pretty good. Well, I don't know. It looks a little funny.
Check that out. Looks like a lot of people will be coming down pit road. They pulled to the inside, indicating that they will come down pit road next time. And you know, we're going to see probably about 2 or 3 pit stops here today.
Would this be Minky See, Minky Do?
I think so.
You got it.
I think so. No cat and mouse games here. They see the leader coming in, and they're coming in too. But Jim and Brian told us a little earlier that pit road is pretty tricky here. Mike Garvey, Stremme, Clanton. You see Kyle Busch and Robbie Pyle all nose to tail coming down pit road. A little elevation change coming off the banking right onto pit road.
Yeah, and you'll see Joey Clanton go in first and Gary St.Amant go all the way around. You see, there goes the 83 there.
Brian Dillon.
He's in. He's on the mark. The crew is pumped. They're going to change left side tires, go with a can of fuel. I asked Bob Suss, no changes in this car. It's perfect. They're just cruising down and away.
Wow, great stop. Jim Trado.
Gary St.Amant just in, and on his marks as well. The grill is heavily covered with a lot of race tire marbles. They're going to change left side BFGs. No changes from crew chief Bill McGowan as the call down and away in 9.8 seconds.
Holy moly. Joey Clanton and the entire Campfire USA team showing us another lightning quick pit stop. They make it off of pit road first.
Oh, I'm telling you, what a great... They've done that all year long. He came in running third, goes out first.
Those guys practiced a couple times a week in their shop in Georgia, and it has really paid off for them this year.
Yeah, and nothing to say about the 5-point bonus that he's going to get for leading this lap when he comes by here. Hey, it's all adding up now.
Joey Clanton changed left side tires quickly, buddy. Why?
Well, that's the one they have to worry about. They'll change right next time.
Oh, we'll see what goes on here. Joey Clanton, Jody Wilkerson and the boys very, very happy down there in their pit stall. Point leader Joey Clanton is your leader. Joey Clanton, the Campfire USA car, 9 wins this year. Just an incredible season.
It's been kind of feast or famine for us all year long. I mean, we came with fast race cars to the racetrack, and you know, the guys that worked hard at the shop worked hard at the racetrack. And it's just a little bug that keeps biting at us in the middle of the season. We tried to shake it off our back, and we did it there for when we won Toledo and Memphis, and came back in the last couple races. It's really just been the little things that's gotten us, and we worked hard. And, you know, that's kind of how our season has been. But you know, when you work hard, I think the goals will come out in front of you, and that's what you got to grab for.
You know, Buddy Baker, Joey Clanton makes a good point. He has had some struggles from time to time. You would think a guy with 9 wins this season would be way ahead going into the final race.
Yeah, but he's been kind of inconsistent. He's just created some of his own problems. One time the throttle hung on him. He got in the outside wall this year. But right now, that car is just absolutely flying around the racetrack. Nothing but clear air in front of him. I look for him to try to hang on to this lead right now. But Gary St.Amant, what a great pit stop they had. He was a half a lap back and running way down in the running order, and he's now in 4th spot.
St.Amant gained 2 spots. Here comes Strummy on the inside, and Joey lets him go again.
Boy, I'm going to quit guessing on what these guys might do, because right at the moment you can see the 83 is very fast to Clanton, but he's not pressing the issue. Anybody puts a little heat on him, he just lets him go.
Hey, you know, Joey Clanton, we know he gained some spots. We know Robbie Pyle and Gary St.Amant gained some spots, but Mike Garvey lost 5 spots on pit road.
Yeah, and they changed left side tires, and you say, why didn't you take right side? Well, that would probably be quicker, but he does not have to concern himself with left side tires anymore in this race. He can go the distance now. Next time he'll get right, and you watch that car take off then.
Joey Clanton went 280 laps on his left side tires here at Winchester last year and won the race. Gary St.Amant, in 2000, he won this race by being very consistent, let others dominate, and then he was there lurking in the shadows at the end. Mike Garvey has always run well here. David Stremme, too. But you know what? David Stremme has 2 wins this year, but part of the deal has been a little luck on his side.
Luck comes in all forms and fashions. For David Stremme in his rookie season, he's won twice this year. This team has their own mojo going on, and crew member Don Bischofsberger is part of that. And you guys won twice this year, David, but you kind of found your mojo by accident. Tell us about it.
Yeah, at Salem Speedway, Don was helping me with some of my rip support in the seat, and he was pushing with his foot, and I kind of went and was going to help him out with a little hammer action, and we ended up hitting his foot, and we went on to win there. So last week before IRP come up to me and says, hit my foot. So we did there, and we won. So today we're going to give a little whack and see what happens, and hopefully it'll pull us into victory lane.
Sometimes it hurts to lose. For Don, it hurts to win.
Are you believing that?
I don't want to be on David Stremme's crew.
I want a steel shoe if I am.
Exactly. Let's get some Richard Petty cowboy boots with a steel toe or something. David Stremme, well, you know what? The good luck charm is working for him so far.
Yeah, and that car looks awfully good, just inches away from the outside wall there. But here's Kyle Busch back up to speed now. Butch Miller in the 04.
And if you're wondering what happened to Kyle Busch, a little overheating issue for that RoushRacing.com number is 07, because he was cooking at the beginning of this one, but has faded a little bit.
And you say a little heating there. Well, these cars have a device in there that if you have a heating problem, it actually cuts the motor back a cylinder or 2 until it cools down. So, you know, when it starts to mist like that, you just go backwards.
And you know who's pretty hot right now, too? The fuse has been lit for Rick Beebe.
The Rocket Man.
The Rocket Man.
That's his 5 car right there, the red and white car, Rick Beebe. If you've ever been to I-70 Speedway, you know a lot about Rick Beebe. Yellow flag.
Charlie Hanna in the 69 hits the wall, goes around, big time damage to the back end of that car. The 4th caution of the day here, 129 laps done.
And Tracy Gordon was also involved. He's coming around with the hood up on the car over the top of it as he tries to get on pit road.
You see Charlie Hanna there, some damage to the back end of his car. And buddy, this happened right in front of Gary St.Amant.
See Hanna there going up. The 45 car, I don't know what he got hit by, but he later on had the hood fly up on that car, and he's sitting on pit road right at the moment. Hanna in a bad spot right on the bottom of the racetrack. Look at the hood here.
There is Tracy Gordon, the Red Line Oil car. Ricky Bryan, a former ASA racer, crew chief on that car this. Back live here in Winchester, Indiana. The Winchester 400 presented by TireRack.com. Robbie Pyle back to the 11th spot and in a little trouble. A near miss. Charlie Hanna spins and
Oh, he makes contact with the right front corner.
How about that? A little damage on the right front corner. Just moments ago, the crew going to work with some sheet metal duct taping it there to that right front, and Robbie Pyle, a little bit of damage, but maybe that won't hurt him too much.
Well, hopefully not. They fixed it, and that should help the car quite a bit. But Mike Garvey on the move again, our early race leader, up to third right now in that black number 17. He is really putting the heat on now as the two front runners come off turn 2 and down the back straightaway. Garvey about 5 car lengths back.
Take a look at the live scoring in the upper left-hand part of your screen. Let's reset this top 5. Stremme, Clanton, Garvey is 3rd. St.Amant is 4th. And Butch Miller in the 04 car lurking once again.
Yeah, on the move in the 04. He says, this is not my favorite racetrack. But he says, you know, I run pretty good here.
Wait a second. Not just it's not his favorite. He goes, I don't like this place.
Yeah, but he's doing okay right now. Butch Miller, an old veteran, man. And you want to talk about somebody who knows his way around. 47 times he's won in ASA.
Butch Miller hoping to run the full series next year. Came into the ASI Limited team about midway through the year, has won 3 times. But Butch Miller wants that full championship, wants to run full next year.
Well, I hope for ASA that he does make the move back over here, because this suits him. He loves the racing. He likes to have a good time. You know what? He's just good.
He is good. Butch Miller in the Tom Raper RVs number 04 here at Winchester. Butch is just a good old guy. We really enjoy having him here in the series.
The fact that maybe some people out there still think that Butch can do it. You know, you never know when your last victory is going to be. First race out, we won. And, you know, I really would like one more ASA championship. And it looks like I'm going to have a shot at it for next year. And I think that's
well, there you have it. Butch Miller hoping to go for championship number 4, but Gary St.Amant, the guy in front of him, going for championship number 3.
Yeah, Butch Miller talking about one more victory. He wants a lot more than one.
Yeah, you know, Butch Miller, I think he's going to win a bunch more here in ASA competition. We've had 4 cautions for 25 laps so far. David Stremme is out front. Joey Clanton, the Campfire USA, number 83, is kind of closing in.
Yeah, and just behind them, Mike Garvey in that black number 17, just inching up there. And when this becomes a contest, I wonder if the 83 of Clanton will move over and let him go.
Well, Brian Dill, what's up with that 83?
Well, I talked to Bob Sussel a little while ago, and he said, we're just being patient. Now, that's a word we haven't heard used a lot around here when we talk about Joey Clanton in the past. He said, we got a good car underneath us. We're being patient. We're going to do what we need to do to win this championship, guys.
And, you know, Joey Clanton has brought a lot of his family here today in hopes of clinching, getting this championship. Brandy, his wife, is here. His mom and his Nana are all here. And, of course, we've told you time and time again, his Nana calls him, my
please. But I will tell you one thing. The storybook up to this point in the race, right now Joey Clanton doing everything right.
You know, Joey Clanton, you know he will love to get this championship with a win, just like Gary St.Amant did 2 years ago here.
Yeah, well, when you win 9 times, you're supposed to win some kind of championship. 9 times out of 20 races, you should be some kind of champion.
Hey, check out that 09 car, that white car, the ATI Performance Products car, just behind the 21 and the 1. J.C. Beatty, Jr., qualified 9th, is running 8th.
And he calls this car Timex. And I said, why? He said, because it takes a licking and keeps on ticking. It's the oldest car in the stable. And I tell you what, he said the first time I drove it, I sawed it off right behind the back window.
J.C. Beatty, Jr., he says this car is just, he called it a heavy old girl. It's 60 pounds heavier than basically any other car out there. But like you said, takes a lick and keeps on ticking. And you need that type of car here in Winchester.
Yeah, and he's doing a great job. It's nice to see him have a little bit of luck, because he's been He's hit everything but the lottery.
He has. He really has. College student at the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. Is going to complete his degree in December and go out into the business world and help his parents run the ATI Performance Products business. But he wants to continue his racing career too, and he really wants to end 2002 on a high note.
Right, and he was quite a go-kart racer, and he's been in Legends, and he's done a little bit of everything, and I'd like to see him really make his move up to the very front here. And right now, hey, he's running with some pretty fast company.
He is. Todd Cleaver just in front of him in the 7th spot. You see David Stremme back to the front in the Meyer machine. Joey Clanton in that Campfire USA 83. And Mike Garvey in the DeCupsta number 17.
Closer. He's less than a car left back now behind the 83 of Joey Clanton. And I'm telling you, Mike Garvey, he wants to close this year out with a win. And I think right now he definitely has the fastest car.
You know, we've said this once and we'll say it again. Joey Clanton and Mike Garvey, well, they're not the best of friends.
No, I don't think there'll be Christmas cards sent to either address, but I will tell you that they respect each other's ability.
Exactly. Mike Garvey going down to the inside of the 83. Can't do it just yet. This is one of these tough racetracks. Garvey. Oh,
John Silverthorne. You see Brian Ruffner in the 21 spinning there.
Big John Silverthorne went around. Brian Ruffner, more trouble for the Great Clips 21. He's hoping to run ASA again next year with the Texas Roadhouse team. The 5th caution of the day brought out by Big John and Brian Ruffner, the 95 ASA champ. Tom Powell waves the yellow flag once again, the flamboyant flagger here in the ASA Racing Series, and a darn nice guy as well. You see Ruffner a little slow. He's had a tough day. He had high hopes coming in here.
Yeah, that car looked like it's having a hard time even getting back to the pit stop.
Hey, buddy, what happened?
Well, John Silverthorne spins there. Look at Gary St.Amant just go by. Butch Miller dives to the bottom there. Everybody, there comes Brian Ruffner with the brake flock, and Kevin Sawinski barely avoids trouble again.
Wow. That is incredible. What are you saying to yourself when you see a guy spinning right in front of you?
It's a word called whoo.
Brian Ruffner with some trouble here. David Stremme is still out front. Joey Clanton is in second. And we have a barn burner here. 400 laps the distance. 157 already down. Buddy Baker, I don't know, but I think we might see some more pit stops.
Well, right now, Brian Ruffner is having a hard time even getting back to pit road. They're going to have to send some kind of vehicle out there to bring him back in. The car is just about stopped rolling. But do you stop now?
I don't know. These guys, nope, they're not going to stop. They haven't pulled down, at least not yet. You see Brian Ruffner's Great Clips 21 kind of blocking a little bit of the entrance to pit road because that's where the guys would pull down to the apron and then head down pit road. And look at the crowd here today at Winchester, Indiana. This race has unbelievable tradition. There is Nana. That is the Nana of Joey Clanton, and she is hoping her little angel wins this race and the championship here today at Winchester. Whoop! Check out what has been happening here at Winchester Speedway. Joey Clanton, those guys, a dynamite pit stop, 7.9 seconds, and they come off a pit road first after going in third. Von Suss, Chad Orr, Mark Ascraft, and the boys very, very happy, but maybe not for long because here comes David Stremme to the inside of the 83 car, goes by in the lead. And then look at this. Charlie Hanna spins just in front of Robbie Pyle and Mike Garvey, and there goes Gary St.Amant through the frame as well. That brought out the caution. We are still under caution, but we're about to go green once again. David Stremme is your leader. 161 down. We're not even to the halfway point. J.C. Beatty Jr., Todd Cleaver in 7th. Rick Beebe 9th. Robbie Pyle 10th. Kyle Busch there. Brian Ruffner still hanging in there about 16th. Tracy Gordon 19th has had some troubles. Buddy Baker, we're going to go green once again. Russ Tuttle, he is back out in the racetrack after some early race problems, but the green flag flies once again. And Joey Clanton, your point leader, is running second. Gary St.Amant is 4th. Kevin Sawinski is 6th.
Yeah, and he's got a mirror full right now. Mike Garvey in that black number 17 as they go down into turn 3. He's all over the back of Clinton. I'll tell you, Clinton does not want to see this right now.
Definitely does not right now. If it were to end here, Gary St.Amant would lose the championship by 26 markers. But here comes Mike Garvey, going to maybe help Gary St.Amant and put Joey Clinton back another spot. You see the interval between Joey Clinton and Gary St.Amant, and it is stretching by the minutes.
Yeah, and here, right at the moment, you see that's a pass for second spot right there. Joey Clinton dropping back as Mike Garvey puts a little heat on him. He drops back one spot, and guess who's just behind him? Gary St.Amant in that 7 car, now battling back, running 4th.
Twice the distance between the two. Mike Garvey going to set his sights on David Stremme and trying to catch him. Brian Till, you've been down in the 83 pit all day. What's up?
Well, Von Sussett said if Garvey gets too close and puts a lot of pressure on him, we're going to let him by. We can't afford to get into problems. But they got plenty of parts back here in case they do get into problems. They can completely rebuild this race car. He let him by. They're being patient. They want this championship, guys.
One of the best prepared teams in ASA.
No doubt about that. Dale Shaw really put a great team together. A lot of engineers together. Joey Clinton himself, he's an engineer. So these guys, they go at it as a professional group. It reminds me of Ryan Newman's outfit that races for the Penske group in Winston Cup.
You know, Joey Clinton, his spotter is his team owner, Steve Dale, so he's up here right next to our booth and trying to coach Joey all the way to this championship.
Yeah, and he was a pretty good race car driver himself.
He definitely was. Steve Dale, a victor in the Legend Series as well as some late model cars, but his history in racing goes way back, even here to Winchester.
Joey Clinton won the Winchester 400 last year. However, they had a revamping of the crew for Steve Dale Motorsports. Only one crew member has returned to the team. You may ask yourself, well, that gives Gary St.Amant the advantage, doesn't it? Because he has a lot of veterans on his crew. One thing they don't have, though, is history here at Winchester Speedway. Gary may have won the title in 2000 here at Winchester, but Steve Dale's father also won a race here. In this modified in 1958, Steve brought the photos here to further energize his crew, saying, we have a lot of experience here, a lot of history at Winchester.
That's a pretty cool race car.
You know, and you hear guys talking about we didn't have great downforce. That guy didn't know what downforce was. You see that car? That is aerodynamic as a brick, but I bet he had a good time driving it.
Steve Dale's dad, Dick Dale, drove that modified right here on the high banks of Winchester, and Steve Dale hoping his driver wins this race and the championship today. Gary St.Amant in the AC Delco number 7, Butch Miller, the 3-time champ in that Tom Raper RV's number 04. They are nose to tail, not necessarily catching Joey Clinton in the 3rd spot.
No, and that black car just behind him there, Kevin Sawinski, he was pretty much out of it at one part in the race there, about to go a lap down. He fought his way back in the 6th.
You know, Kevin Sawinski coming in here, a lot of people said, you know what, he's got no chance at all, but Kevin Sawinski knows that this racetrack can be tough on drivers. All he needs is a little bad luck on the part of St.Amant and Clinton both, and he's right back in that championship picture.
Yeah, and I mean, he got significant damage on the right-hand side, just in front of the tire. You can see right there coming off the corner, a pretty big gouge out of the car there, but hey, he's driving it like it's 100%.
Hey, this is a tough racetrack, and it takes a tough race car driver to go around this racetrack. Gary St.Amant, though, said, you know what, I learned a lot from legendary ASA racer Bob Seneker and how to get around this racetrack. The Bluebird taught me, and that's why I won this 2000 race here.
Well, you couldn't have a better teacher, I'll tell you that.
Gary St.Amant just ahead of Butch Miller. You know, Butch Miller is another one of those guys that really would like to win here at Winchester. There's Kevin Sawinski, and just behind Kevin Sawinski is Todd Cleaver in the Marshall Metals number 55. Another guy that has had a topsy-turvy year here at ASA, but a young guy, up-and-comer here at ASA.
What I learned most of the season is how to fix wrecked race cars in my shop. Whether, you know, with one car we'd be running in the top 5 like at I-70 and got together with Gary, or at La Crosse when we got together with Mike running for 3rd at the time. You know, when I came into the series, I never thought we'd spend that much time in my shop all season trying to get this 55 car ready to come back every week.
You know, I think Todd Cleaver has learned a lot more than that, because he is one talented race car driver, and he's shown it here. Had never been to this racetrack, and he's running 7th.
Yeah, and he and his crew chief split up, and he made himself his crew chief, and he know he's just had a great year. working on his own car and trying to be a crew chief. If he had a lot of help, I know that he'd be right at the top of the sport.
We visited his shop earlier this year in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, and he's got a pretty nice shop. You know what, Gary St.Amant, he works out of a smaller shop than Todd Cleaver does. And Jim Trado, what do you have for us?
Well, I want to get the words from the horse's mouth. Bill McGowan, the crew chief for Gary. Are you able to hold to your strategy? Number 2 on the question is, how's the car handling?
Well, right now he says the car's not too bad, and we're just, like I said, we're holding to our strategy here. We're going to wait this thing out for the last 100 laps, and nothing we're going to do before that anyway, so what happens.
That is Gary St.Amant's style to a T, waiting for the last 50 or 100 laps to make the charge. Can he do it? He's waiting in the wings right now. He knows he has to finish a couple of spots ahead of Joey Clanton. Bon Suss and the guys hoping to have the championship locked up here today in Winchester. We'll be back in a moment. Under caution once again here at Winchester Speedway. Tim Taylor had hit the wall hard coming off of turn number 4. And you know what? We had pit stops. And here is the call. Here's how it happened just moments ago.
Clanton comes in. First guy into a stop. He hits his marks. They're going to go right side tires this time. Another can of fuel. No problems here. Another great stop for this Steve Dale crew. Looks like a little problem with the right rear. A little longer than usual, but they got it down, Jim.
Methodical stop for Gary St.Amant. They're going to the left side for the second time, guys, changing left sides twice thus far in the race. St.Amant's crew now has the fuel in. Uncle Roy Marvin's got the can out. Down and away, Jay Platt's down in 9.5 seconds. St.Amant beats Clanton off pit road.
How about that?
John Force lives in the number 7 car. Did you see that burnout?
That was pretty incredible. Maybe the reason why Gary made it out ahead of Joey Clanton, because their pit stops were pretty close in time.
Yeah, in position on the pit road itself. We talked about that earlier. He didn't have anything but accelerate right off the corner.
Gary St.Amant, he gains 3 spots on pit road. Wow. And you know what? We are going to try to talk to Gary St.Amant, the driver of the AC Delco car. Buddy, go at it.
Gary St.Amant, this is Buddy Baker. Do you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
Gary, you're kind of hanging back there. How's the car working on the racetrack? Is it feeling pretty good? It looked like you're changing left sides a bunch. I'd like to know the answer to both questions.
Well, the car's not too bad. You know, we're just kind of hanging back. Before that last caution there, though, we were getting a little bit loose getting into 1. So hopefully with these left side tires will help us out.
In other words, the right sides are so hard that you don't have to change them as much as you do the left.
That's right, buddy. These BF Goodrich tires are just some awesome tires here at Winchester. And, you know, our plans were to go the whole distance on rights. You know, we might just change them just to go through the motions, but AC Delco Chevrolet is running pretty good right now.
I see you have a mirror full right now, the 83. How are you going to race him?
Well, you know, we're just going to try and get through these lap cars here and get us some clean running room. And if he's right on my bumper, we'll just let him go. You know, if not, I'll race up, try and get up there behind David.
Okay, buddy. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you, buddy.
We are going to try to talk to Joey Clanton in the 83 car. Joey Clanton now just behind Gary St.Amant. Joey Clanton is the point leader coming into this one. Joey Clanton, this is Bob Dillner. Do you copy?
Some might say they had a lot left in them.
You hear Bon Suss talking to Joey Clanton. Joey, can you read me? It's Bob Dillner.
I read you loud and clear, Bob.
What do you think? You told us you were going to just keep Gary St.Amant in front of you, and now you got him in front of you. What do you think?
Well, we're just going to take this Campfire USA Chevrolet to the front. You know, I mean, we sat there and rode all day long. We'd run up on the cars, and we didn't need to. We had no pressure behind us, so we'd back off of them, roll up. We got a good race car. Don't want to get in no situations. I think we got a lot better car than Gary's got today, and you know, if he opens up, we're going to get in front of him. Let's go again and just see if we can stay in the clear. That's the biggest thing, is staying out of trouble here.
And I know you want to win this one too, but how much? Of course, that championship weighing heavily on your mind when it comes down to the nitty-gritty. Championship win. What do you think?
Championship, no doubt.
Thanks a lot, Joey. We'll check in with you a little bit later.
Good for Bob.
Joey Clanton wants that championship, $200,000 on the line, but you know what? If it comes down to it, he told me yesterday, I would love for this championship to come down to me and Gary battling it out for the top spot on the final lap of this race.
Great radio voice. I just heard him just then. I mean, he sounds like a guy that flies an airplane. Yeah, we're coming in on flight. Pretty nice, huh?
Kevin Sawinski, the Texas Roadhouse #1. Sawinski is fourth. You know what? Second, third, and fourth. St.Amant, Clanton, and Sawinski, the top 3-point guys. Brian Till.
Well, a lot of people had counted Sawinski out early in this race when he had his problems, but I just talked to Mike Chaffee, the crew chief, and he said, you know, the car's coming in. It's getting better. They couldn't figure out why they qualified where they did. Kevin said the car was good. It wasn't tight. It wasn't loose. They were on the chip down the front straightaway, so they had good straight line speed. They don't know why they qualified so poorly. Mike Chaffee says, hey, he just hadn't had many laps here, but the car is getting better. We could be a player in this thing, guys.
You definitely could be a player, but you know what? That car doesn't look too pretty. It's banged up on the right side, banged up on the left front fender. And Buddy Baker, how about you talking to him?
Kevin Sawinski, this is Buddy Baker. Do you read me?
Yeah, I got a copy on you, buddy.
You look like you're really picking the speed up on that car. Is it working well?
Yeah, 10-4, they've been adjusting on it every stop, and things really starting to come around on the bottom groove.
Couldn't be much better. The first 3 guys in points right together there. You're going to run them hard, are you?
10-4, we're going to give them anything we can.
Okay, pal. Thanks for talking.
Buddy Baker, that's not a pretty looking car, that #1. It's been knocked around all over this racetrack.
That's my choice. When I got to run like he has to try to make up the points that he's behind, I like him on mean looking cars.
And check this out. Joey Clanton is just behind Gary St.Amant, but we've told you Gary's got to finish a couple spots ahead of Joey to get the championship. Right now, he would still be 11 markers behind. Kevin Sawinski's still way behind.
Yeah, but it's like a big magnet. All 3 of them right together. As you hear, they've been told to green, 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 and the 11 car, David Strimming, leads them down into turn 1.
Here we go. Green flag racing once again. The top 3 in the title chase running nose to tail. Second, third, and fourth. St.Amant, Clanton, and Kevin Sawinski. St.Amant, Clanton really took off.
Yeah, and that's typical. Kevin Sawinski takes a few laps to get going, but he has a fender that's really starting to stick out in the air there. It's right behind the right front wheel that's out in the air. I don't know whether that hurts the car, but you can see it flapping as he goes by.
That right side body panel certainly flapping. With how close they run to the wall here, he may knock that thing off.
I didn't say fender, did I? I should have said right side is beginning to flap a little bit.
The entire right side almost. Butch Miller just behind him. Boy, Joey and Gary, I guess you could say they blew Kevin's doors off.
Well, that's the reason right there. You don't know what that thing's going to do, and when it first flies open like that, it kind of catches you by surprise because all of a sudden there's daylight where there used to be metal.
That's exactly right. Kevin Sawinski's still trying to fight his way back up there. Jason Boyd just in front of him. A lapped car. Jason Boyd of the Johnny King 86 has been having trouble, and Sawinski's certainly getting his doors blown off. That guy is blowing everybody's doors off. David Stremme in the Meyer car. Doing pretty good, Jim Trado.
Easy going down here. Dominator David Stremme is staying on the racetrack. They said the car is actually running faster now with just 1 left side tire change. They left him out for a reason. This car is very good. They don't want to change a thing. They can go fuel load to about lap 300, Bob.
Should be interesting grit strategy at the end of this one, but Dominator David, Jim Trado calls him. What do you think?
Yeah, and the car is really good, and why change anything? And he's got great track position.
Why change it? Because he has led 131 laps. That's why they're not going to change anything. BF Goodrich Tires halfway there. Award winner to the number 11 Meyer machine for David Stremme, looking for his 3rd win of the year. And it would be 2 straight to close out the ASA season. David Stremme looking awfully strong. I don't know if anybody's going to touch him. Joey Clanton's been good. A bunch of guys have been good here today, but he has certainly stretched out this lead as the point battlers battle it out right now.
Yeah, and you said it right. The war is no longer with David Stremme, but back in that group back there for the national championship certainly reigns on. As you see Gary St.Amant right there in front of Joey Clanton, and these guys are mirroring each other around the racetrack. A while ago, it was the 7 car behind the 83 of Joey Clanton. St.Amant right at the moment looks like he can handle that 83.
Want to know where your favorite driver is running? Check out the live scoring in the upper left-hand part of your screen. 204 laps down. Gary St.Amant running second there, but Joey Clanton, man, he looks awful tough.
Joey Clanton has a great car, and I think he's right where he wants to be right now. He's running along in third spot, happy as can be. He said he has a little bit better car than Gary St.Amant. We'll see.
And he also said, you know what, Gary St.Amant doesn't want me in his mirrors all day long. Bob the Builder. Well, that's the pit sign for David Stremme, and you know what? Good luck charm maybe, because he is cooking out here at Winchester today. Rolling here at Winchester. Rocking and rolling here at Winchester. David Stremme on pit road, but Joey Clanton beats him off. The Meyer machine, the team there with a good pit stop, but another dynamite pit stop by the Campfire USA boys.
Well, they've been consistent today, but one thing happened during that little time under the caution. Gary St.Amant leads the lap to get that 5-point bonus.
Here comes Joey Clanton down pit road, and the guy's going to work. No adjustments, it looks like. Just another good pit stop.
Yeah, you see these guys, they have it down. I'm telling you, watch them.
Rusty Clanton, Joey's brother, pushing the car off, and Joey, those boys are just smoking.
Under 7 seconds.
Incredible. And how about this, though? Gary St.Amant, the only guy to not come down pit road. That is the reason why we are under caution. Doug Stevens with a heavy hit.
Yeah, Doug Stevens off turn 2 just went hard right into the outside wall.
You see the car going up on the wrecker?
Oh, something broke on that car for sure, or either he lost it back and tried to correct, but look at this hit on the inside wall. Very hard into the inside wall. You see the left front not even turning? Let me tell you, that was a hard lick on the inside. Now it's going ahead and destroy the rest of the car.
Wow. You see him going off on the wrecker of that car. Pretty darn hard hit. And, you know, Winchester, this is a tough racetrack. This is where you can take a pretty good lick. So the best safety equipment is important here at Winchester.
ASA drivers are concerned about safety, and when you come to a high bank track like Winchester, it's definitely so, because the G's in an impact here can rival those that Winston Cup drivers would have on super speedways. So a lot of drivers are gone to complete seating systems. Guys like Mike Garvey have gone to the Butler seating system. It's no longer about just seat belts and head and neck restraints. In the Butler system, they take in head restraints in case of side impact, as well as shoulder and rib protection. And that protection goes all the way down your body, along your legs, all the way to the footwell. They even thought of things like the belts loosening up during the race, so they put in a nice little ratchet system so you can reach down and tighten the belt up after you've been driving for a while. So you can see, it's not just seat belts anymore, it's complete seating systems. Why is this the only kind of car they let me drive anymore?
well, you can answer that.
Did you ever see Brian Till race? He needed everything that's in there and some more.
He looked kind of cute in that little car. I think that belongs to him. Yeah,
How
Brian.
about the ratchet? I love that.
No, he does that pretty good with his hand there.
No, let me tell you, Brian Till was a good race car driver. Ran in the Indy 500, and we're proud to have him on this group.
Yes, we are. Brian Till has definitely been a good addition to our crew here with the MPG team. Butch Miller in the Tom Raper RV's car. He's in A spot, has been as high as 4th, but now he's running 8th.
Yeah, but he'll be back up near the front before this thing's over.
Jim Trado?
Well, I'm down here. I just spoke with Dion Deneau, the crew chief for Butch Miller's ASI Limited Chevy. He said the car is free. It's still pretty neutral. They made their 3rd pit stop now. They've changed left side tires this time. They lost a few spots on pit road to try to make it back up on the racetrack.
That is Dion Deneau right there on top of that pit box with those little yellow sunglasses, looking pretty cool. Butch Miller not involved in this points chase here, so he wants to go after this win. Gary St.Amant is your leader. We mentioned it. He did not come down pit road. Buddy Baker, why?
David Stremme did the same thing. He has great track position right now. He's got the 5-point bonus right now, and he feels that there'll be another caution. Why not go ahead?
Points are very, very critical. Kevin Sawinski knows that. He's the 97 ASA champion. And for Kevin Sawinski, he does have a win this year, but this year has been up and down for that driver.
I think this year's been a great year. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster, but we've been fast enough to win races like Jennerstown and Cedar Rapids, fast enough to run with that 83 car. Just got tangled up with them. Unfortunately, some of the times it hurt us more than it helped us.
Well, Kevin Chewinski needs a lot of help in this run for the championship here today. You can see his hand out the window trying to grab a little cool air, and it's been a beautiful weekend here after a little rain. And take a look at that. Gary St.Amant is in the point lead. If it were to end now.
Pressure. I'm sure that Joey Clanton knows right now that he needs to get after it.
And that is because Gary is first on the racetrack and Joey Clanton is fourth. You think Joey Clanton's going to press on that pedal just a little bit harder? I think so. Right, Dill?
Well, I just spoke with Doug Howe, who's the crew chief for the 09 car, and he says they're really impressed with the job that Beatty's doing today. Very few changes, only air pressure adjustments. They think they've got a car they can finish on the podium with, guys, and the way he's been driving it, I think so.
I think so, too. J.C. Beatty giving that 09 car a very good run here. A couple cars in front of him, including the 33 of Greg Stewart, not on the lead lap. The Sitco 63 of Robbie Pyle is.
But Beatty's running along in third spot right now, but he's got Joey Clanton and David Stremme really pressing in on him right now. I don't look for him to stay there very long. These guys are after the front.
You think J.C. Beatty is sweating some bullets right now?
I'd say he's saying, Mira, don't put that yellow car in. But I look at this car run. Beatty is doing a great job.
Joey,
gouge.
That was a low tap, don't you think?
Yeah, and you see Beatty saying, well, go ahead.
Joey says, you're running good, kid, but let me come on by because I'm coming for the championship. Joey Clanton goes by J.C. Beatty. Clanton now in the third spot. He goes around the lap car, the body balance car of 33, Greg Stewart.
And Greg Stewart gives him a break there, gets out of the way and lets both the second and third place cars by.
And look who's just behind.
Third and fourth, pardon me. Robbie Pyle's in second.
Yes, he is. But those two guys are coming through the field. The first two guys from Ohio. Check out this little bump, Joey Clanton on J.C. Beatty. That was kind. That wasn't too bad.
No, that's
Winchester.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. That's just, boy, I'm back here and I need to go right now. National championship is waiting.
Joey Clanton, David Stremme in the Meyer car just behind them. J.C. Beatty has dropped back just a little bit, but still running in the top five. Now Joey Clanton is trying to catch the top two guys right there. Gary St.Amant and Robbie Pyle, both from the Columbus, Ohio area. Gary, 2 championships. Robbie Pyle, not a win this year. Pyle and that Sitco team won once. His first career win at Madison, Wisconsin 1 year ago. Had damage to the right front of that car, but it hasn't affected that machine.
No, the car has good downforce, but you can see Joey Clanton and those guys filling that shot up just a second ago. They're closing in on the leaders, I mean, in a big hurry.
You know, this is a great run for Robbie Pyle because the past couple races he started up front and he has faded a little bit. That team regrouped. They really talked about things, and they're looking good a little past halfway in this race.
Yeah, and that tire change that they just made on that last pit stop, Joey Clanton, the 11 car, is flying.
Buddy Baker, check that out. Maybe a hot dog wrapper on the front of that thing.
Yeah, and that won't help. It might help downforce. Oh, they make contact. There's Robbie Pyle in the outside wall.
Pyle goes hard into the wall.
Oh, and J.C. Beatty gets into the back of him.
Oh, J.C. Beatty Jr., the front end of that car on fire a little bit.
And Kevin Chewinski also involved in that spin there.
Wow. Pieces just flying all over the place. J.C. Beatty Jr. see him pretty disgusted after a good run, but I'm glad he's A-OK.
Yeah, and Robbie Pyle at the moment, he has the window net down. You can see that tells the corner workers I'm okay.
That car is destroyed. The Sitco 63. Beatty just really ticked off after a good run for him this afternoon. The 8th caution of the day here in the Winchester 400. Wow, that shows you how hard you can hit here at Winchester.
And that tells you that lap traffic, no matter, you think you have an opening, you start by, and all of a sudden you make contact and then the outside wall, and everybody else is involved too.
J.C. Beatty Jr. taking off the Hans device right there to help support his neck in case of a wreck like this. Robbie Pyle, hard into the wall, still sitting inside that Sitco 63, but that thing, that Howe chassis car is just gone. Robbie Pyle bites the dust here at Winchester. Charlie Hanna gets into the second place running car. And Pyle, boom, into the wall. Tough break for him. Beatty, tough break for him too. Man, cars mangled here at Winchester. The Winchester 400 for the ASA Racing Series. We are under red flag conditions here at Winchester because of a big wreck in turn number 1. A heartbreaker for Robbie Pyle. You see the field stopped right there. Joey Clanton, the 69 car that you saw there was involved in this. There is the car for Robbie Pyle going to be put on a flatbed truck because that's how much damage that car suffered after he and Charlie Hanna, the 69, hit. Man, there is Robbie Pyle taking a sip of water. Glad to see he is A-OK. Charlie Hanna overheating a little bit, but just a bad break for Pyle, who was running second.
And here it is, buddy. Coming off turn 4, Hanna and the 63 of Pyle, and then Pyle goes up on the high side, gets into the outside wall, and watch Beatty in the 09 hit him from behind, just wide open almost. Kevin Sawinski, minor damage to the car, but he's been in several wrecks also today.
Check out another angle of this thing. Here is Pyle on the outside. Hanna comes up, hits him.
And right there, Joey Clanton, trying to win the championship, goes low and goes right under, and David Stremme dives to the bottom, but Beatty and the 63 of Pyle really hit hard. You see a little fire there.
Both drivers are A-OK. J.C. Beatty pretty ticked off. Here it comes, click, click, and boom! Into the back of the Sitco 63. You can't get much of a harder hit than that, and wow, just an incredible hit for Robbie Pyle. Here's the real time. Listen. They're going pretty fast there, buddy.
Oh, I've been there and done that. No fun there.
Jim Trado?
Robbie Pyle is okay, it appears. Robbie, what happened?
I'm not sure. One of the lap cars there, a car got into us on the front stretch and put us in the wall, and it seemed like we hit everything else over and over. I think it's happened pretty quick here. Too bad. Sitco and Waltham and everybody have been great this year, and looking forward to next year. It's just not a good way to end the season.
Robbie, you worked yourself into second position. Was that the strategy there, staying out and getting some good track position? Was your car that good at that point?
No, earlier we got, there was a spin there and just clipped the front end of the car and had to come in and fix it, so we got off sequence on pitting a little bit, and that's what got us up there. We were kind of strategizing for the rest of the race there when we were running second. A whole lot of race left there, but long way to go. We'll see what happens.
Robbie Pyle is also out of the car. J.C. Beatty is also standing by, and J.C., you had a hard lick. You had a great position and great run going as well.
Yeah, we sure did. The guys worked so hard today. Set up on the car, little Doug, Fred, Dave, Pee Wee, especially Dad and Mom and everybody at the shop. And my brother's spotting, he said car high, but I think I was already pretty deep on him. And I hate it for everybody. We had finally put the end of the year together for us, and we were excited for it, but unfortunately we'll have to wait till next year.
You got a chance to race with Clanton there for a little bit. How much did that energize you, knowing that you guys were in a position to run up front?
Yeah, it was so weird. They said you're third, and I'm like, we are third, aren't we? And Joey was there and David was there, and I knew they'd be quick, and they let me get a little distance so I could fall in and try and race with them. And it feels good because we know we can compete with those guys. And even with this old car from 1999, it's been looking like that a bunch of times, and it feels really good for everybody, and we'll take that momentum and go to next year.
Look forward to seeing you in 2003, JC.
Thanks.
Well, Timex has taken a licking, and it's done now.
I'd say that we'll take a front clip for sure.
Incredible. You see the safety crew going to work and taking those cars off the racetrack. A lot of tradition here at Winchester, and part of that, well, Brian Till's going to explain.
You got it. When you think about the legendary drivers who have run here at Winchester and crossed this finish line, can't help but think of names like Bob Sineker, Mike Eddy, even Butch Miller. But I'll bet one of the names you haven't thought of is Wilbur Huffman. But he's been in almost every race that's been run here and crossed this finish line literally thousands of times. Wilbur, you've seen it all.
I've seen it all from start to finish, from the time Frank Bunk built the racetrack until now.
So 69 years, and in the 69 years, what is it that you like to drive around this place?
Oh, it always has to be a Ford. Ford's my vehicle, always has been.
So, and how many have you had?
I've had 4.
4 Fords, and I can tell you that the guys that run here, they didn't want to see Wilbur coming up to get him in his Ford, and you know why? It's because he's driven the wrecker here for 69 years.
69 years.
Wow.
This track built in 1914. Wilbur just a part of the history here, and there is the record that he drives around this racetrack. Wilbur Huffman, just one of the guys that makes the Winchester Speedway awful famous. But you know what? It's also famous because it's got some pretty darn good racing, and we're going to see more of it when we return here at TNN. We are here at Winchester, but quickly to Brian Till.
Mike Garvey's been from the front to the back and forth, and the reason is they keep adjusting the car. They think they've got a good car. They want to go racing the last 50 to 100 laps. They're not concerned.
You know, Mike Garvey looked awful good earlier on. He has lost a bunch of spots on pit road, but keeps on fighting his way back to the front, buddy.
You see these cars going through all that oil dry, and yeah, I mean, that's the whole idea of this racetrack. Fighting your way back to the front. And if you have a car that's good enough, right now he's working on that third spot right now. Mike Garvey on the inside there trying to take second spot, third spot away. But what about Todd Cleaver running along in second spot in that 55 car?
Todd Cleaver looking pretty good. He's got a couple of good guys behind him in Mike Garvey and Butch Miller as well. But, you know, Cleaver had never seen a racetrack like this before. Man, he's looking pretty good. There's Kevin Sawinski and David Stremme. David has stopped for tires, trying to work his way back through the field.
And that car of Kevin Sawinski's been through the meat grinder 3 times today and just keeps right on digging. That thing's made out of something that none of the other cars are made out of. Look at the right front corner of that car. It's caved in right in front of the right rear. And a while
Mark Floor up on the embankment, going into the third turn here. Yellow flag, easy for me to say, but Mark Floor, a tough hit for him. You can see the back end of that car and climb that banking.
How do you get in that position? You see him now going back under his own power there, trying to get back to the pit area.
Wisconsin guy, Mark Floor. Sharp-looking race car there, but trouble for him was hoping for a good, clean run here today. Mark said this is a pretty interesting racetrack.
Left rear on that car is flat, so that might have been why he spun over there.
Joey Clanton is out at the head of this field. Todd Cleaver is second, while we are under our 9th caution of the day here at Winchester. Joey Clanton is the man on a mission. He's in the lead. He wants the championship, but he's going for the win as well. Ed Brown's boys ready for him to come down pit road. There is a look at your top 10. Big John Silverthorne in 10. Good run for him. We'll be back. Here we go at Winchester, back under green. Joey Clanton is your leader. Mike Garvey has moved back into the second spot with Todd Cleaver fading back to third.
Yeah, Mike Garvey got a great restart and just got under Cleaver and just blew by him. But look how he's closing in on Joey Clanton. He wants that lead back.
Ryan Till told us they've made a lot of adjustments to that race car. Well, they must have made some pretty good adjustments. There is Kyle Busch in the 07 car. And, oh, here we go. Here comes Garvey on the inside of Clanton. He's got the top spot. Those adjustments were pretty good for Mike Garvey.
I'd say right now we were worried about him dropping back and making all those adjustments and losing track position. But let me tell you, everything they've done to that car has been an improvement. What a great handling car.
Joe Shear, crew chief, smart guy. Crew chief Johnny Sauter to the championship last year is now Mike Garvey's crew chief on that Tecumseh team. Joey Clanton, the Campfire USA 83. He's got to be patient. These guys don't have to be. David Stremme, you know what? He locked up the Rookie of the Year title. He is the Pat Shower Memorial Rookie of the Year here in ASA.
Yeah, and he's pulled the stop out on that 11 car. He is driving the wheels off that car. Inside, outside, passing cars every way he can right now, and he's sizing up Butch Miller, looking to the high side, then to the low side. Butch Miller very cagey, though.
David Stremme's got fresher tires on that number 11 machine, fresher tires than anybody else in front of him. Does that play a big factor?
Well, right now, he's just got to work with what he has, and he has the better tires, and I will tell you that pressure's better any old time.
And just behind those two guys is Rick Beebe and the Collis Equipment number 5, having a pretty good run here today as well. Those guys, boy, Garvey and Clanton not pulling out as much as they had earlier on. Oh, trouble.
No, but Butch Miller realized that the 11 was in a hurry right now, and he does not want to run the pace that he was trying to run. Look at John Silverthorne. A lot of damage to that race car. He's run into someone.
Maybe that's the trouble I thought I saw there. Big John Silverthorne with a lot of damage on that race car has been running 10.
Well, as you can see by that car, he's been in a war or two already today. Tape all over it.
Silverthorne, you see the fender just fly off, and it goes through our shot there. Here's Here's the replay of what happened. No.
Ed Brown just barely made contact with him. He was trying to get to the bottom of the racetrack.
Our cameramen like Ron Gargas showing some good shots here today. Silverthorne pulls to the bottom of the track on pit road and major damage to that car, so he is out of contention. Mike Garvey is your leader, but David Stremme is the man on the move. There is the top three going around Ed Brown in the 60 car. He had just gotten into it with John Silverthorne, but here comes Stremme.
The 11 car, David Stremme right now. You have to realize that the 83 right now may be the fastest car on the racetrack, but Clanton's got the championship in mind right now and not pressing as hard as he normally would.
You know, I asked David Stremme, why are you so good here at Winchester? He says it's all about respect. Not necessarily respect for your other competitors, but respect for this racetrack. She's like a cranky old lady, and she'll reach out for him.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of the first and second turn at Darlington. I mean, you go in, you go right up against the wall, and if you mess up, you don't come back around.
Stremme on the back bumper of the Marshall Metals, number 55 of Todd Cleaver. 253 laps in the book out of 400, the Winchester 400, one of the most famous short track events in the history of racing, not just here in Indiana. This race has tradition. David Stremme wants to add it to his record book.
Well, he's driving his heart out right now, but I think the Attaboy Award has to go just there in third spot right now. Todd Cleaver driving the best race he's had all year long.
He definitely has. He had some good runs earlier this year. We heard him say, you know, I fixed that race car a lot this year. He's learned how to fix the car, how to run up front. He'll be back next year, and I think he's going to definitely win races here in the ASA competition.
Oh, no doubt about it. He's just one good pit crewman away right now of having one of the top cars.
In fact, a bunch of those guys, just some dynamite short track racers. David Stremme really coming on this year, has won 2 times, and we saw him in and out of rides the past couple of years. A full rookie season with Howie led out as his crew chief, and maybe that's a key for David Stremme.
Say, what a great race car. You go down and you look at it, and it looks like the inside of a great restaurant, the way the car is prepared. Everything immaculate.
Gary St.Amant. St.Amant is 8th, fading just a little bit, has 4 fresh BF Goodrich tires on that car, but he's not catching anybody, buddy.
No, right at the moment he's not. I would say that Gary has to be a little concerned right now. His game plan's going south on him. He's 8th right now, and like you say, not catching the front group.
Kevin Sawinski is just behind him, actually far behind him, but running in 9th. Sawinski is now a lapped car.
Yeah, now it's when you have to draw up and hope nothing goes wrong, because they're in heavy lap traffic.
Check that out, going around the 44 McDonald's car of Peter Cozzolino, also John Webb, Mike Garvey. He is opening up a little distance between he and Clanton.
Well, Clanton's being very careful, as I said so many times. I won't harp on that, but right now he's got the big picture in mind. That national championship, lots of money.
I got to ask you, have you ever seen Joey Clanton run such a smart race?
Well, he's a pretty smart guy. I mean, after all, he is an engineer, and he knows what he has to do. And I'm sure that Steve Dale has a lot to do with the race he's running today. I'm sure he's telling him exactly where Gary St.Amant is and what his lap times are and where the leader's at.
You spoke about Joey Clanton being an engineer. He also has 2 other engineers on his team, Gil Martin and Philip McRae, and that's a pretty smart bunch down there.
Yeah, you got to have it anymore. That's what racing's coming to, is the guy that can outsmart the other guy and make it all happen.
Mike Garvey is your leader here at Winchester, but Joey Clanton is trying to become the first Georgia driver to win the ASA National Championship. Can he do it? He would also like to win here today, but he's got to get by Garvey. Here's what's been happening here lately in the Winchester 400 for the ASA boys. Charlie Hanna gets into the 63 of Robbie Pyle. Into the wall he goes, and here comes J.C. Beatty. Wow, listen to that smack. A really hard hit. Luckily, both drivers A-OK, but their tempers flaring just a little bit. J.C. Beatty not too happy because he was having a dynamite run. Then Mike Garvey to the inside of Joey Clinton. Mike Garvey bringing that Tecumseh number 17 back to the front of this field. Todd Cleaver also having a great run. John Silverthorne was 10th, not anymore. He hits the wall and then barely hits Ed Brown of Florida. That car is a mess. We are under caution once again. Pat Kelly stalled on the end of the front stretch, the 66 car there for Pat Kelly.
Boy, and Gary St.Amant dodged a bullet there. He was just about to go a lap down. This will help his track position. He'd come in, maybe make some changes to that car.
Hey, the lug nuts are off, and we're going to check out where your favorite drivers are running. Mike Garvey is first. Gary St.Amant is 8th. Kyle Busch, man, he's been loose, but he is 7th. Greg Williams, a great run for that independent runner in 11th. John Webb, 15th. Go a little bit further back in this field, and you see how attrition has really taken grasp of this field.
Yeah, the infield's beginning to look like a car show now. Cars are dropped out, and they're parked all over the infield.
Joel Kaufman, one of those kids, his car parked in the infield here at Winchester. The fans, well, they're not going anywhere. This grandstand is packed here today to see what's going to happen with this title fight in ASA. Gary St.Amant slipping just a little bit, has worked his way back further in the field, is still running 8th, but he's 41 points right now behind Joey Clanton, Kevin Sawinski, way back.
Yeah, and he's already pulled over. There's going to be, everybody's going to be coming to the pits, it looks like. Everybody down on the inside of the racetrack, except some of the lap cars, and they're not allowed to stop this time.
Kevin Sawinski, one of those lap cars. He just made a pit stop to kind of clear off the grill. Buddy Baker had mentioned to me, it looks like he may have a little overheating problem, but here come the cars. This is a crucial pit stop.
Boy, it's feeding time at the zoo.
Brian Till?
Well, this should be the last pit stop of the year for this Steve Dale crew. They're going to do left side tires again. They're really taking a beating here on the high banks. A little slow with the left rear tire. They're working on it, guys. They want to take their time, make sure it's right. They got it down and away, and it's a longer stop than usual, Jim.
Gary St.Amant with the left side tire changed it. Said the car has a vibration. That's why the car was falling back. He was the last car on the lead lap, almost in the clutches of David Stremme. Just getting his hands out in time as Jay Platt says David Stremme also came down pit road.
Well, Joey Clanton goes out first. David Stremme there second. Todd Cleaver third off of pit road. Little trouble for Joey Clanton on that pit stop. Action Line All-Star pit crew member Mark Ashcraft having a little trouble on the right rear, buddy.
Yeah, that's not normal for that team, but it happens to the best.
Stremme coming back down pit road, maybe, buddy? Wow. What's that about?
I don't know, but I bet we'll find out quick enough.
Stremme brings his Meyer AFCO car down pit road, and interesting move by David Stremme to come back down pit road. You can see the crew, Mike McGavick, Perry Cohorn, and the guys. Jim Trado, what's up?
Well, they just came in for left side tires. They feel they have a vibration. They don't know exactly where it's coming from, so they're going to change the left rear. They're going to check the left front tire to see if there's anything wrong with the suspension. They wiggle the tire. That's the rudimentary way to check to see if there's anything wrong with the left front suspension on this high bank, high wear racetrack. So Stremme, the dominator, now have the vibration.
Well, a tough break for David Stremme. That vibration, not something you want to have here at Winchester.
No, and you take G-loads in this high banking of 34 degrees here, and a lot of times he's coming back in again because he's on the bottom side of the racetrack. Stremme, he'll be coming back to pit road again.
Gary St.Amant, I'm sure that car not very much to his liking here today because he hasn't pulled it to the front of this field. Gary St.Amant still has had a pretty good year in ASA competition going for the championship.
Well, you know, it's been a consistent year for the API team. You know, getting those 3 wins in a row, you know, really helped the season out for all of us. You know, I go back, you know, there was a couple races where, you know, maybe we could have had better performances and maybe we'd be leading the points right now, but it just wasn't the case.
Well, Gary St.Amant, you see the video there. He was very upset after Salem, after he and David Stremme got into it. Gary St.Amant wants this championship, but he knows how good Joey Clanton's been this year.
Joey Clanton making no mistakes today. Mike Garvey, on the other hand, not making any either, but David Stremme back in the pits again.
Brian Till? can't get a hold of Brian Till right now. We'll check back in a little while. We saw Kevin Sawinski there. We saw David Stremme was on pit road again. Mike Garvey is the leader of this race with Joey Clanton second, Todd Cleaver in third, and Kyle Busch running fourth. Kyle Busch has had a pretty good weekend, a top 10 in the Sunoco Super Series event last night. Man, this guy has completed a lot of laps here this weekend.
Yeah, and it wasn't long ago we were talking about the car running hot and was losing power and dropping back through the field, but it seems to be okay now. And as you said, Kyle Busch really standing on the gas there. You see him right behind Todd Cleaver, the 07 there.
And just behind the 07 is the 7, Gary St.Amant, pulled back up to 5th. Butch Miller just behind him. Gary St.Amant, can you tell what that car is doing, buddy?
Yeah, it looks good now. It looks to be balanced a little bit better. As he closes in there, he ran Kyle Busch down and really gained about 10 car lengths on him. Butch Miller just behind the group there. This Joey Clanton, that's the story of the day. Not one mistake all day long.
You know, Gary St.Amant tried to play a lot of mind games with Joey in the past week or so. You see Nana and his son Christopher, Joey's son Christopher, rooting his dad on here at Indiana, the Winchester Speedway here today. In fact, that was a surprise for Joey because Christopher wasn't supposed to be here.
That's a bad sight right there. You can see David Stremme heading back under the green into the pit, so he has something really bad with the 11 car, with the dominant car in the early parts of the race. Boy, I tell you, that's sick.
Tough break for David Stremme for the second straight year, a dominant car, and for the second straight year, trouble. Jim Trado.
Well, guys, we recorded the vibration. They ended up changing a left rear tire and a right front tire with those two stops to get under the yellow. Only 2 tires, so it's rather unorthodox. What they're doing now is checking the right front wheel bearing. Again, there's such a heavy load on this 34-degree banking. They have a vibration. They think it might be the right front wheel bearing. They're doing a visual. They've got the grease gun available just in case they need to repack that bearing on a short notice. But again, this green flag stop for the second straight year has robbed David Stremme of a victory at Winchester.
The guys seemed a little bit puzzled down there, have a vibration, but don't exactly know what it is.
Yeah, and you can't find it that quickly.
Mike Garvey is your leader, looking for his first win of the 2002 season. Joey Clanton is catching up. Tough break for David Stremme, a darn nice guy. He'll come back next year and try to win again here in Winchester. The Winchester 400 presented by TireRack.com, the longest race of the year for the ASA Racing Series. And how do you think these guys are feeling in these cars?
Well, I know Mike Garvey's been there before, done this, so has Clanton, but in third spot right there, Todd Cleaver, what a drive he's had today. He's actually closing in a little bit on the leader every lap in that 55 car. I guarantee that kid is some excited at the moment.
297 laps down. I asked Todd, have you ever run a race close to this length? He said, absolutely not. That kid is really giving that car a strong run here today.
Yeah, and to think, I mean, mostly he does not even have a crew chief yet. Not one that you would say he's the crew chief, because you know who the crew chief is? He's driving the 55.
Exactly right. Troy Nelson trying to help out as the car chief on that car, chief mechanic, so to speak. There's Kevin Sawinski running around this racetrack. Brian Till.
Well, we saw Kevin Sawinski going backwards before. His problem, man-made. Right here, a plastic bag. It had gotten in the radiator. The car was overheating, lost power, and started to drop back. As for Joey Clanton, his car is good. Bonsa says, we could win this race, but I'm not going to let him. We need to run for the championship. But we're set, guys.
No question in my mind whether his car is good. He's standing on that thing. I tell you at the moment, Clanton, if he really pressed the issue, I think he's quicker than Garvey, but hey, catching him and passing him, that's another story.
Come on, though. With 1 lap to go, if he's far enough ahead of Gary St.Amant, you think Bonsa is really going to say, hey, I'm not going to let you win this race.
We're talking about the big picture, but one person that would make it a little uncomfortable for Clanton is in third spot there. Todd Cleaver, he don't care who wins the championship. He just wants to try to win the race.
And he's catching them. He's reeling in the top 2 guys. Joey Clanton trying to work his way around Mike Garvey, despite what Bonsa says. Joey is looking from time to time to get by the 17.
Yeah, he's going to have to do something, because he does not want to get into a dogfight right now with the kid that really wants to win this race more than anything.
Lap car they just went by, Tracy Gordon, the Red Line Oil 45. Those guys, though, those cars have been pretty darn good all day long. Todd Cleaver, the 55. You can see the flames on the front end of that car. That car is hot. He's hot.
It's red hot, and right now he's running as fast as anybody on the racetrack. His lap times are great. I bet you can see a smile when he comes off turn 4.
I think you can. I think I saw those pearly whites in there for Todd Cleaver. Gary St.Amant, I don't think he's smiling too much right now, just trying to hang on here as that AC Delco. Take a look at how far he is behind those two top guys, and the guy is really worried about Joey Clanton.
One full straightaway, Gary St.Amant riding along in 4th spot now, one straightaway behind the leader.
You look at the scoring in the upper left-hand part of your screen with 93 laps to go. This right here is the story. Brian Till, what do you have?
Well, I spoke to Joe Shearer Jr., the crew chief for Mike Garvey. I said, how tough do you make it on him? I know there's no love lost between these guys. He looked at me and smiled and said, we're just riding right now.
Just ride. Tough to ride when you got Joey Clanton on your back bumper.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, if you had to have Joey Clanton behind you, it would be today, not early in the season when points were not an issue.
Exactly, because Joey Clanton has been the type of driver who has wanted to lead laps, lead the most laps, and you know what? He may want to lead here.
Yeah, I just watched him, and he looked to the inside of Garvey coming off turn 2, and he's looking down low like he may just go ahead and make the pass here pretty quick.
You know, if Mike Garvey is riding, maybe he should be riding a little bit faster, because Joey Clanton looks like he's got a pretty good car as they come up on Peter Cozzolino in the McDonald's 44. Oh, Kyle Busch coming down pit road, the RouseRacing.com team.
Taking on left side tires and put 1 or 2 rounds into the left rear. That means the car is not getting the grip on the back that he needs getting in the corner. It's probably loose getting in.
He has lost a lap now. Busch had run in the top 5, but I tell you, a lot of cars losing laps here in this long race. Man, it takes its toll on drivers, teams, and cars.
Yeah, and lap traffic too, how cleanly you get through the corners, and Mike Garvey, a master at it. They pulled a little bit on Cleaver, but now he's fighting back again.
Gary St.Amant riding in 4th, and this is how he has done in this race, where he has been 5th, 2nd, 8th, 4th. He's been in the top 10, but he hasn't been by Joey Clanton too often. That's a big gap. You talked about it just a little while ago. He's got a long distance in front of him if he wants to catch.
They call that a cushion, but I see smoke off the 17 car on the right front corner. I don't know why, but it's smoking pretty badly.
Good spot, buddy. I see that. The smoke coming off that right front. Maybe some trouble brewing for Mike Garvey.
Well, you see right there as he starts in the corner, the right front corner is really ablaze almost, and here comes Clanton to the inside.
Clanton on the inside. Garvey maybe having some trouble. Here comes Todd Cleaver as well. Clanton squeezes back in between the two.
Yeah, and when you're trying to win a championship, the last thing you want to see is smoke off a car like that. I don't know whether it's light right front corner rubbing a little bit on the tire or what it is, but there's definitely smoke there, and Clanton knows it.
Clanton comes back to the inside. No, here comes Cleaver now. The young kid out of Wisconsin going for
and there goes Clanton. He's in trouble.
Clanton gets hit in the right rear, continues, but trouble for the point leader here in the ASA Racing Series.
And Cleaver has knocked the whole right front corner off that car. You can see right there. There goes the hood.
The hood lands on the racetrack, but oh my gosh, tough break for Todd Cleaver. Running 3rd, you see the right front of that car a little bit low.
That's exactly what I was telling you about Winchester. In a blink of an eye, things change.
Todd Cleaver, some right front damage on that Badger Music and Equipment number 55. A heartbreaker for Todd, and here's what happened, buddy.
Todd Cleaver looking to the inside. You see Joey Clanton trying to cut down under, and they make contact right there, and he loses the back. Cleaver had nowhere to go, gets into Clanton. Whoa, my goodness.
Oh, we're going to take a look at another angle here. You see Cleaver going low. Joey just catches right up.
Well, the 17 car was not clean there. Oh, he got the rear wheels off the ground. How in the world Joey Clanton saved that car, I don't know.
Wow, awesome. We have a 3rd angle of this wreck. Our cameraman doing an awesome job here today. You see Clanton there, boom, into the back of him a little bit, coming off of turn number 2.
Yeah, and he drives it down into 3, and Garvey loses traction right there. He gets in the back of Garvey. Oh, that could have been the championship right there.
Wow, you see the hood that flew off of Todd Cleaver's Marshall Metals number 55. It is landed on the racetrack, and wow. Brian Till?
Well, disappointment for Todd Cleaver and his team. He's taken the wheel off and hung it up, but guys, you can see the significant damage. The whole front end is messed up. These cars with this injection are so important to have an airbox that works, and there is no front end, there's no airbox. He's done.
That is the agony of defeat.
Absolutely, and here comes our leaders down pit road.
Joey Clanton pulls in his pit stall. Those guys going to look. Jim Trado?
Well, guys are looking at the rear end of the car. Remember 1 year ago here at Winchester, he got rear end damage, and guess what? He went on to win the race. They're trying to tape it down to Stanley lap. Now Joey's killed the car. They're looking at body damage only. Now the crew chief's calling for the Sawzall. Fender rubbing on the right rear of the Campfire USA Chevy. He may come back down pit road.
If Bob Suss was calling for the Sawzall, that's a little instrument to cut some of the body away. He'll certainly be coming down
Yeah,
pit road.
you have fiberglass bodies on these cars, and they have to Sawzall. They use the Sawzall to take off anything that might be rubbing. It's a lot better than metal. It's easier to trim.
And Joey Clanton comes out right behind Gary St.Amant, but Joey is headed back down pit road. Trouble for the point leader. Here's what happened. Clanton into the back of Garvey, who slowed the 55 and Cleaver into the back of Clanton. Some anxious moments for the Campfire USA team. Will they be able to rebound? We'll find out. Getting down to the nitty-gritty here, down to Brian Till on pit road.
Well, Mike Garvey, from the leader to sitting in the pits, guys, we talked about how hard this racetrack is on the equipment. Right front wheel bearing. He's going to be out for quite a while.
And maybe that's the reason why he slowed out there.
Well, that's why all the smoke was there. The grease was burning up in the right front corner. But Joey Clanton right now on a mission, trying to catch Gary St.Amant. Gary St.Amant riding around here with chrome wheels on that race car. Let me tell you, those are borrowed wheels. He does not have chrome on that Southern.
Definitely does not, but he is your leader. Rick Beebe, the Rocket Man, is second, Clanton third. Jim Trado?
Well, guys, I'm down here in the Von Suss-led team. He actually took the Sawzall, cut off this part of the fender, the right rear fender of Joey Clanton's car in very quick fashion. They got that away from the smoke and tire. They've got some messages here. They may have some more body damage. Didn't have time to fix it properly.
Go, baby, go. That's what they're telling Joey Clanton. He just moved by Beebe.
Joey Clanton is absolutely flying. He went in the corner, passed two cars down on the flat, slid up in front of the 5 car there of Rick Beebe. He is on a mission now.
We always knew Joey Clanton was a wheeler. He's a muscle man. He knows how to get that car around the racetrack fast. And now he's closing in on his point nemesis.
Yeah, I think that little jolt there in the middle of the corner woke that guy up. He is flying around this racetrack.
Joey Clanton is a pretty emotional guy. When he gets fired up, he puts the pedal to the metal, and he is right now.
Yeah, and you can see he's gaining about 4 or 5 car lengths every lap on Gary St.Amant in that 7 car just in front of him.
73 to go for all you David Stremme fans. That Meyer, number 11, is back out the track.
Now, if Joey Clanton does win today, he ties the all-time record for most wins on the ASA Series. He has 9. He's trying to match the performance last year set by the 9 car, and I will tell you right now that Johnny Sauter wouldn't be happy if he had ties it.
No, but Johnny Sauter, keeping an eye on this race, has called me many times this weekend to say what's going on with the championship hunt. He's very interested as well.
Well, everybody is, because ASA is very prestigious when it comes to championships, because some great ones have had championships in this sport.
Mike Eddy, Bob Steneker, just a whole host of names, famous names. Tony Raines, a former ASA champ. Brian Refner in this race. Some of the best of the best in the short track business have been champions here.
Yeah, and it comes down to these two guys, points leaders. Gary St.Amant right now, he's behind, and he knows it. And here comes Joey Clanton. Will never give up. No matter what happens, he just stays right in the throttle.
Joey Clanton, that car looks like it's a lot better than Gary's in the middle of the corner.
No question about it. And like Gary St.Amant said, with the year that Joey Clanton's had, if I finish second, so be it.
Hey, buddy, only 3 cars on the lead lap. That's Winchester for you in 400 laps.
Yeah, but just like right there, he got into the outside wall. Joey Clanton off a little bit there, gets into the outside wall. In a blink of an eye, everything changes, and the car is a little bit off.
That car is wiggling around this racetrack. We saw him do something similar to this on the high banks of Salem, Indiana earlier this year. Maybe a little bit of a problem for Joey Clanton.
Yeah, something's wrong because the back of the car is very unstable at the moment.
It's going from bad to worse for Joey Clanton. He is slowing on the racetrack as that car continues to wiggle.
and he's trying to decide what's wrong with it, but you can see every once in a while it just kind of cocks sideways. Right there, it's not tracking like it was.
Oh man, Rick Beebe pulling to the back bumper.
Oh, and he goes up.
Beebe to the inside of Clanton. That's a battle for position for second on the racetrack. Clanton doesn't want to give it up, but Beebe gets it.
He's got something really bad, like a track bar or something going away on that car. It's all over the place. Whether it's a flat tire or a track bar or something's really wrong with the 83.
The complexion of this championship race may be changing. The tides are changing here in ASA as Joey Clanton struggles with that car. Take a look at him saw at that wheel.
Barely able to stay on the racetrack. Every corner in the adventure right now. Joey Clanton in big trouble.
They are feeling it down there. Jody Wilkerson and the guys. Joey Clanton just can't drive that car much longer like this.
No, everybody on the speedway is passing him. Gary St.Amant is on the same straightaway to put him a lot down. I'm telling you, you talk about championship battle right now. This guy's in trouble.
That is Bond's son's fiance, Lisa. She can't believe what's happening. Bill McGowan doesn't want to see it happen like this, but you'll take a championship any way you can get it. Joey slow, bottom of the racetrack. Is he going to pit?
He's going to go a lap down right here as the back end goes out. Gary St.Amant gets into him, and around goes Clanton. The guy's right there. Woo!
Wow. Gary St.Amant's crew, they are pretty happy, but some anxious moments here. And now the championship maybe in Gary St.Amant's hands.
Right rear tire flat on the 83. That was what was wrong.
Trado.
Buddy, you're absolutely right. The team was awaiting just one fresh BF Goodrich traction T8 tire. They were going to change the right rear. They knew that was a problem. They changed the right front right away, off the beat, down in the way. More body damage, though, as they push the car off. The damage from Gary St.Amant's bump has cost them the very valuable rear spoiler position on the 83.
Oh, man, you can see some of that body hanging on the right front fender of Gary St.Amant. You can see the yellow from Joey's car.
That is the question. How much damage was done to the 7 car of Gary St.Amant when he got into the back of the 83 there? This thing is not over yet.
And a black flag for Joey Clanton. They're going to bring him down pit road again. The championship. Joey Clanton may be losing the championship right now. Wow, take a look at the first bump. This is between Joey Clanton and Gary St.Amant. You can see him out there. And Clanton just, something's wrong with that car there.
Yeah, and he comes down pit road right now. They're going to have to pull some of that wreckage off the back of the car.
Clanton gets a stop and go penalty, but take a look at this. St.Amant into the back of the 83 just had nowhere to go.
Yeah, and I say right now that he didn't have much damage at all to the 7 car. Barely gets into him.
Joey just sawing out that wheel. Gary, you know he didn't want to get in the back there, but plainly no place to go. Clanton spins to the infield, and now the championship may be back in Gary St.Amant's hands here at Winchester.
Yeah, and he almost got himself into some big trouble there as David Strummy goes by in the 11 car. He's had trouble. Just about everybody's had some trouble today.
Mark Ashcraft from the Campfire USA team walking in the infield. Brian Till wants the emotion.
A lot of emotion down here and a lot of work being done, guys, and they say the car's fine, but they're getting prepared just in case. They don't want to make another stop, but they're getting everything prepared just in case. But so far, so good down here for Gary St.Amant. Jim? Hey guys, Joey Clanton's car was black flag for one reason, speeding on pit road. It wasn't because of the damage, but what they're doing is the damage is a concern. ASA is keeping a very close eye on the rear deck of that Campfire USA Chevy. If it worsens, he may get flagged again.
Look at the blank expressions on the face of that crew. They can't believe what they're seeing.
Yeah, and I mean, just a blink of an eye and everything changes for the 83, and right now the spoiler is almost gone. Look, it's hanging down below the chunk lid there. Cannot be getting much advantage from it.
Wow, you talk about drama. We have it here on TNN. The final race of the year, the Winchester 400. Gary St.Amant won it before, and he's going after this championship. Will he get it? We will find out shortly. I've got goosebumps watching this one here because the championship battle has drama. Gary St.Amant was second in points coming into this one. He is now the leader of this race because Joey Clanton has had trouble. It has been wild. Take a look at that. First the 83 into the wall, into it with Todd Cleaver as well. And then Joey just can't keep the handle on that car.
Flat right rear tire, and he was trying to hold on to it, hoping for a caution. Finally got in trouble.
They come down pit road, change that right rear tire, but already losing laps on pit road with Joey Clanton. Wow, Joey Clanton, though, believe it or not, is still fourth. But what does that do to the points chase, buddy? We're going to find out. There it is. Gary St.Amant ahead by 4.
And don't count Joey Clanton out, because he's proven right now you don't have to have a rear spoiler to run well. He's still digging out there, and he has absolutely no spoiler at all. You can see it hanging down below the trunk lid.
It's not over till it's over. Gary St.Amant, the two-time champ. Check out some of these close point races in ASA history. Back in '92, Mike Eddy just 2 points over Johnny Benson Jr.
You know, we're talking about Clanton. He's in 4th spot right now. He's doing quite a good job out there with the damage he has to that race car. I don't know how he's driving as well as he is.
He knows he's just got to keep on running as fast as he can, because you know what? We said it in the break. Gary St.Amant could still have trouble.
Yeah, it's certainly not over, but I know that Gary St.Amant is really proud of the way he's run this race. At times we counted him out because he was dropping back. That's how he knows to win championships. And he's a little bit smarter than I was, because I would have went after the win probably.
36 to go.
And he may get a chance.
He might. Incredible. We cannot believe what we're seeing before our eyes here at Winchester. Just want to remind you that Rick Beebe, the only other car on the lead lap, of course, is second to Gary St.Amant on this racetrack, but way behind the number 7. In fact, it's about a quarter track, maybe even a little bit more of an advantage for Gary St.Amant out here today. There is Rick Beebe battling with the lap car of Jason Boyd, that Johnny King machine. But Beebe, the Rocket Man, man, it's good to see him have a good run as well.
He's having a great run. And quite frankly, you look at the car and not a mark on it. So he's been accident-free all day long, and that's what it takes here at Winchester.
Gary St.Amant, some of his best friends right now are Rick Beebe and Kyle Busch, running second and third. Gary needs them to keep on running where they are in order to win this championship.
Yeah, if they have any trouble, of course, it tightens that points race right back up and gives the lead back to Clanton, that never gives up.
All right, buddy, you're the driver. First of all, what is Gary St.Amant thinking?
How many more laps? I'm ready for this thing to end, because I've been very smart all day. But as you can see, one little miscue and you're in trouble here.
Okay, now Joey Clanton will put you in his cockpit. What is he thinking?
Well, he's just running as hard as he possibly can, and he hopes that maybe those cars that we were just talking about, second, third, may have problems, move him up a little bit, he would win the championship.
It's a battle of points right now, not even necessarily the win, although Gary St.Amant would love to pick up his second Winchester 400 victory. He knows the championship is on the line. 29 to go. If it ends like this, he would be a 3-time champion in ASA. Wow, it doesn't get any better than this, buddy.
Yeah, and when you're right near the end of a race like this, Gary St.Amant right now is on cruise control, but you can hear every nut and bolt in that car as it either loosens or tightens. It feels like you can anyway.
Bud St.Amant, his dad, watching his son try to win his 3rd championship. I'm sure as a dad, too, you got to be pretty anxious down there on pit road.
Oh, yeah. They are very aware of everything on the racetrack, and, of course, they're telling Gary St.Amant, hold everything just like you have it. Don't make a mistake. In lap traffic, you have to be very, very careful.
Von Suss, I'm sure, the crew chief of the Campfire USA 83 team, telling Joey Clanton, just keep on running, buddy. We know attrition can take its toll here in Winchester. We are not out of this championship hunt yet. St.Amant on cruise control, but as Buddy Baker said, he's probably hearing a lot of things inside that race car and worrying about a lot of traffic.
Yeah, and Clanton's sitting there with a great race car, even though it's torn up the way it is, but he's 6 laps back. Something has to happen.
The top 5 is Gary St.Amant, Rick Beebe, Kyle Busch, Joey Clanton, and Kevin Sawinski. Jody Wilkerson there can't believe his eyes. The 7 team is out front of this championship race. This is it, folks. The ASA Championship coming down to the wire here in the final race. Coming into this race, Gary St.Amant, 11 markers behind. He is now ahead by 4 points if it were to end right now with 16 laps to go. Percy, part of the AC Delco crew, he can't believe his eyes as well as Gary St.Amant is on cruise control. He has let some people by.
Kyle Busch, he just moved over and let Kyle go after Rick Beebe, and he's closing in for second spot. That would be quite a feather in his hat. He's only a lap down from Gary St.Amant at the moment.
There is Rick Beebe, your second place runner in the Collins Equipment number 5. A great run for the Rocket Man, but he is not catching St.Amant.
No, as a matter of fact, that's Kyle Busch, the second car behind Rick Beebe for second spot, and he's closing in very quickly. And you can see the 83 there. Clanton off the pace and was into the wall just a second ago.
Hit the backstretch wall. That car is a handful. Kyle Busch there closing in on Rick Beebe with 13 to go. And I think Joey might have just barely scrubbed the wall there as well. Man, that thing is just wicked.
I can tell you, when you lose the rear spoiler on one of these race cars, you lose about 200 pounds of downforce on the back wheels of this car. So he's got his hands full. It's like trying to fly a kite without a tail on it. It's just all over the place.
Pretty tough to do. Pretty tough, though, is Kyle Busch. He's pulling up to the back bumper of Rick Beebe. And he's eyeing him. He knows he's got the faster car. Can he get around?
Yes, I can tell you that. After watching him last night, he ran 2 laps down on the lead cars last night, and here he comes on the inside for second spot.
Whoa, there he goes. Busch on the inside. Second spot belongs to Kyle Busch. Great run for the 17-year-old. We haven't mentioned that all day. 17 years old.
Oh, man, go after it.
Kyle Busch just graduated from high school this year, having a pretty darn good year here in the ASA Racing Series, and now trying to get by, I should say, Joey Clanton.
Yeah, and that'd be pretty smart for Joey Clanton to move over and let this kid go, because he's in second spot at the moment, and really, you don't need to make an issue of this.
Joey Clanton driving that wrecked race car for all it's worth. Don't know how he's getting it done. He's got a little dirt late model experience, and maybe that's helping him out here.
Got to be helping him, because I know it has to be a very hard to hold on. Kyle Busch has all the spoiler you can possibly put under there, and he was sideways.
There it is. If it ended now, that would be the deal. Gary St.Amant would be the 2002 champ. He lets David Stremme by.
Yeah, he's got the big picture in mind right now. Gary St.Amant is on cruise control. He realizes he's in a lap by himself.
Kyle Busch. Oh, trouble for Kyle Busch. I was just about to mention he was slowing.
And the right rear wheel is running down the front straightaway of Kyle Busch's left rear there, and it's coming down the front straightaway.
And, buddy, this is just what Joey Clanton wanted. He needed one of those guys to drop out of this race and maybe close up the championship. Those guys, Mark Ashcraft, Jody Wilkerson praying, saying thank you. He is happy because Joey Clanton may be back in this.
Yes, if you can keep the sheet metal on the 83 car of Joey Clanton, there's stuff hanging off of every corner of it.
You just saw Brandy Clanton. She can't believe her eyes. The whole team pretty stunned because they are back in it. 5 laps to go. I cannot believe what's going on here. Rusty Clanton, Joey's brother, radioing to Joey right now saying, you're back in it, buddy. Here's what happened.
Well, watch the 07. He feels the problem right here. Watch the left rear just come right off of the Busch car into the outside wall, and that'll take some wrecker assistance to get him going. Wheel goes down, David Stremme and all these guys, and here comes Gary St.Amant to the caution.
Another angle. A pretty good lick for Kyle Busch. Couldn't do anything about that because that tire just come off that car. You see the tire taking a pretty good trip down the front stretch here, and man, this is nutty. Gary St.Amant, Joey Clanton going for the title. Jay Platts just hoping. You see him twiddling his thumbs right there saying, what's going on?
Wow. what a place for the championship to have the final race here at Winchester. Everything's happened today.
You have to run the last 5 laps under green here in ASA competition. So when we come back, we will. Rusty Clanton still speaking to his brother, saying, you can do it, buddy. Uncle Roy Marvin, hoping Gary St.Amant can pull it off for the AC Delco team. Who will it be? We'll find out when we come back. Joey Clanton versus Gary St.Amant. The battle for the championship, Brian Till.
Bill McGowan, the crew chief for Gary St.Amant. We were just talking about Kyle Busch. He's on the radio with Gary right now. Tried to get a word with him. Why don't we get to Jim Trado and see if we can get a word?
All right, Brian, I'm here with Von Such. You've worked out every possible scenario. Talking to Jimmy Parker, crew chief for Kyle Busch. What is your concern now?
Well, I mean, the way it looks, if we can complete the 5 laps and Kyle can't, we'd finish 3rd, and by my calculations, this gives what we need. I mean, it's a heck of a day. 5 to go. We'll see here.
Every possible emotion has gone through the veins of this team today. Brian Till, you got him now?
Now he wants to call the restart, guys. We're not going to be able to talk to Bill.
Don't blame him. Bill McGowan concentrating on this championship run.
Joey Clanton going down into turn 1. You can see the car not at full song. Gary St.Amant, your race leader, down into turn 3. Smooth as silk coming off down the front straightaway. 4 to go.
4 to go. Clanton trying to make up his laps. Kyle Busch is still listed as 3rd in this event. Gary St.Amant is your leader. Rick Beebe 2nd. Joey Clanton giving it all it's worth right now, and so is Gary in that blue number 7. Roy Marvin looking on. Can't believe things that happened here today. Winchester, a tough racetrack. Both these guys, tough racers.
Joey Clanton off the speed a little bit. Car a little bit ill handling. You can see the rear spoiler hanging down below the trunk lid there as he goes into turn 3. Jason Boyd there had trouble in the early part of the race, but up to full time going right by.
Gary St.Amant is your leader, but Joey Clanton just trying to continue. He has just picked up the 3rd spot, and that may be the position he needs to win this championship with 1 to go.
1 to go. Gary St.Amant, finally, he's going to win the race, but right here, he's going to win the war. Joey Clanton.
Going away, President, buddy. Thank you.
Gary St.Amant is pulling this car down to the win.
4 times this year, Gary St.Amant.
Gary St.Amant is the winner of the Winchester 400, but the championship may be in Joey Clanton's hands. Yes, the Campfire USA team is celebrating. They are the ASA Racing Series champions in their minds right now. Joey Clanton, pretty happy. The team, pretty happy. Celebrating. There's Mama Clanton. Coverage of the 2002 ASA Racing Series Championship is being brought to you by BF Goodrich Tires. Take control. How about that? Let's go quickly down to Victory Circle, Brian Till.
Well, Gary St.Amant, I mean, I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say. I know you did everything you possibly could, and I mean, words, they're not enough of them.
You know, it's a great day, you know. AC Delco Chevrolet really wasn't all that good today. You know, consistency is what wins here at Winchester. The Penske Shocks was great today. I got to thank Alan, everybody at Penske Shocks, AC Delco, Lane Automotive, Port City Race Cars, Sweet Manufacturing. Everyone, thank you. Great to win here. Congratulations to Joey. I think he won the championship.
Well, we think he did too. I mean, what can you say about the drive that Gary St.Amant put in today and all year long for that matter? A true gentleman in the sport. Jim Trado?
A special moment and tears form in the eyes of Joey Clanton. Joey, what an incredible run. Congratulations. You are the 2002 ASA champion.
Oh, God, this is great. I knew we had a great car. We had a car to win. I mean, I tried to get him to get the 55 off. I knew something was wrong with Garvey's car. He just kept starting wondering. And he got into it. I thought our day was done, especially when Gary got in the back. I was in, nothing that he could do about it. I see there's a piece of our car left in Gary's car. This is awesome for Campfire, Steve Dale. You know, I just want to say hi. Thanks to our great car owner, Steve Dale, Linda Dale, and all their kids, Jackie and Katie, to let us be able to do this right here. I mean, this right here is just great. I got to say thanks to Pro Shocks and Racing Radios, Royal Purple, everybody that supported us all year long. This is just great.
Joey, talk about your Bon Sus-led crew and how they kept you pumped for the race, even though it looked like it was slipping away.
They stayed in it. I didn't give up. This right here is just awesome. I mean, we knew what we had to do. At the beginning of the season, nobody gave us a chance to do this right here. I thought this was our 10th win, but we'll take this championship and just take it home with us.
Bob Dillner.
Congratulations to Joey Clanton. He wins the championship by 1 point. Buddy Baker, your final thoughts on a wonderful season.
Man, I tell you, I'm absolutely speechless, so I'll shut up.
That is a different deal for Buddy Baker. I have had a great time working with Buddy Baker, Jim Trado, Brian Till, Sandy Hang, John Mulantomke, and the rest of the MPG crew. Congratulations to Joey Clanton. Joey, you are a champion. Joey climbs out and he says, I'm lifting that trophy in the air. You deserve it, buddy. The entire team. Congratulations to Joey, but congratulations to Gary St.Amant on a job well done. Joey Clanton gives a hug to Christopher and his wife, Brandy. It's been a wonderful season here at ASA. Joey Clanton is the victor of the season. Good job to that entire team.